Isn't she worth it? If you're ready to make that giant step, then you need Smoker Savior, a rechargeable electronic device that's so realistic you can actually blow smoke rings. But it's not harmful secondhand smoke. It's only water vapor. And you can have the Smoker Savior, $130 value for free. That's right, free. No tobacco, no tar, no stained teeth, no smelly clothes, no ashtray, no lighters, and no more guilt. In fact, over time, you'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And you can have the Smoker Savior for free. This is a limited time offer. The Smoker Savior looks real, tastes real, smokes real, and it really satisfies. So grab a pen and get ready to write down this life-changing number.
Please, Daddy?
Call 800-921-3785. That's 800-921-3785. Do it for you, do it for your family, and for a limited time, get the Smoker Savior device free. Call 800-921-3785 to find out how. That's 800-921-3785.
SimplyBestPennyStocks.com is your #1 source for penny stock alerts. Last week's pick, CHGY, gave their members a 102% gain from their alert price of 85 cents in just 2 days. The week before, they had a gain of 68% from MSOA in just 1 day. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today to receive their next big pick. To get their free newsletter today, go to SimplyBestPennyStocks.com so you don't miss out on their next massive alert. SimplyBestPennyStocks.com's research team is one of the best in the market today with countless years of experience, which means big profits for their members. Experience simply equals profits. So don't miss out on their next alert. Go sign up now to SimplyBestPennyStocks.com for your free membership. SimplyBestPennyStocks.com. Individual results may vary. There is no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely.
The Jay Thomas Show. Howard 101. You'd be amazed all the people that do listen to your show.
I can't stand it, I tell you. I love it. You guys are the best.
We're surely we're hitting the capital.
All right, it's 8 days. Relax. We're on a bus.
Madison.
So long, so make a wife.
That's what they say in Hong Kong.
And Jay Thomas.
Hey, the Jay Thomas Show at Howard 101, and I tell you what, this is going to be considered the year of the baby. Shirley just, had his wife pop one up. Madison will not be here today because, it must be difficult, Shirley, carrying a kid. She's like, 7 months pregnant?
Yeah.
Big stomach, getting out of bed, and all that stuff, I got to tell you, I got 3 of them. I don't know why anybody does it after you do 1 or 2. I don't know why, but
we had a mantra this whole pregnancy, and it was one and done, one and done.
So that's it, only child.
I mean, that's the page I'm still on. I don't know, now after they have the kid, they're like, like my mom said it. She goes, they are like cats. They forget after they have the babies. And so, by the way, my mom was on Miserable Men with us last night.
Oh, come on.
Well, I had to reveal something to my parents last night.
What was it?
That I got a tattoo a while back.
Come on, when?
Like almost a year ago.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you put your daughter's name on your back or something. Oh, God, thank God. You didn't do that, did you?
No.
Oh.
No, I did not.
You were so quiet.
Well,
God.
Well, I put my wife's name on my back.
No, come on.
Yeah. And then my daughter's name.
No, come on, you didn't.
And then my daughter's name's going to go on my arm somehow.
No, come on, you're not going to.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, as a Jew, you cannot be buried in a Jewish cemetery.
Thank God. Who wants to hear that bitching for eternity?
What, I mean, do you really
call this a plot?
Do you have, I love when I go to the gym and I see these guys that have the hands praying in the middle of their back, and then they're, I don't know what, something across their shoulders. I guess it was their gang affiliation or their boyfriend in jail.
Yeah.
Shirley, how big is the tattoo of your wife's name?
It's big. It goes from shoulder to shoulder.
No. Tell me no.
It does. It does.
I'm not kidding you. My mouth is open. I'm stunned.
Well, wait till you see it. It says pussy right across my back. I went for a blanket statement in case, it doesn't work out.
Right.
What's funny is when I went to go get it, is I go to the guy, I go, so I want to get my wife's name on my back. And the guy goes, don't do it, man. Don't do it. And I go, really? No? And he's like, nah, just trust me. Don't do it. And I go, really? You have experience in that? He goes, yeah, I got my fiance's name on me right now. I go, well, then what are you talking about? I go, you're telling me not to do it, and you already did it. And then I find out he's Jewish, and I go, oh, okay. I go, what did your mom say when you got your first tattoo? Because this guy's covered. I said, what did your mom say when you got your first one? He goes, she cried. And I was like, uh-oh. But I'd already started at that point, so there was no going back.
And did you not tell the wife?
Well, we both decided to get this done, each other. She's got my name on her ribs on the side. Going
Come
down.
on.
Yeah.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
I feel like you just got off the train from Rikers Island.
I got white power on my neck.
Yeah, you and Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne.
I have 2 teardrops by my ass.
Are you being serious or are you kidding me?
No, I'm being serious.
So what did your mother say?
So here I am thinking, like I'm going to be like, Mom, I got a tattoo. And you just hear the phone. And she's down, you know, and we had on also at the same time we had on Derek from Derek and Romaine from OutQ because we had a segment called Ask the Fudge Packer. And,
no, come on.
Yeah, we did. First question right out of the gate, Levy goes, "What's the strangest thing you ever shoved up your ass?" and Derek is great. He goes, "Something I shoved up myself or someone
up a friend?"
Yeah. So I told my mom, I go, "Mom, I have something to reveal to you, and it has nothing to do with Derek from OutQ, so it's okay." And
what was the strangest thing? Forget the tattoo. What was the strangest thing?
Well, we came to the conclusion that the penis was the strangest thing he's ever stuck in there. He didn't think it was that strange, but we did.
Yeah.
So I said to my mom, "Don't worry, the revelation doesn't have anything to do with him." My mother goes, "I like the gays. I hate the lesbians." That's what she says on the air last night. But I like the gay guys.
There is a terrible story out of Mississippi. In Jackson, Mississippi, they have canceled this pretty big school's entire prom, the Itawamba Agricultural High School prom.
It's always a rager every year.
Has been canceled because one, and she's really cute, this lesbian girl wants to bring her girlfriend to the prom, so they have canceled the prom. Now, you know, I'm raised down south, right? And, you know, all the kids in the school except the girl, you know, whatever. And they canceled the whole, and the girl says, Constance McMillan, that's really messed up. A bunch of kids at school are really going to hate me now. Can you imagine living in wherever, in Itawamba, where'd you get your little diploma? Itawamba Agricultural High. I'd like to say that to somebody.
Bragger.
I mean, you know that at my kid's high school here in California, I will pull up in line to drop him off, and there will be guys holding hands and 2 girls making out on the grass before they go into school. Now, and I always comment on it, you know. I go, what's that? He goes, oh, that's, Joyce and Betty or whatever. I go, what are they doing? He goes, they're dating, Dad. So what? Like that. You know, canceled the whole thing. Canceled it all. You know, I don't know.
But she wanted to wear a tux or something?
No, she wanted to bring her girlfriend. Yeah, she didn't want to wear a tux. But they're saying that in Mississippi, you can only have a date of the opposite sex, you know. But remember the good old days, Shuli, where the gay guy that you knew was gay had a date with a girl and danced, you know, at the prom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
They're both wearing the same shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. And now the ACLU is getting involved, of course. Now, here are the states that don't allow it. Alabama, Utah, Florida. Gee, hard to figure those, right?
How about Florida should not allow people to have kids? Because every murder or kidnapping story that you end up being the parents, it's out of Florida. Florida is the worst place to be a parent ever, or to be a kid.
Why?
I don't know what it is. All these people from, every time you hear an awful story about a kid, it comes out of Florida.
I don't think that's, I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I don't think that's true.
Google it. I don't have the time.
You're like too busy.
Busy man here.
In Texas, the school board wants to put in the books that the kids study. I mean, this is the one of the largest. What is it? It's the largest state in the union, not the most populous. I guess New York and California are the most populous. They want to put in the textbook that the Earth is only 5,000 years old. They want that in the, and they want to stop saying, they want to stop making things liberal accomplishments like of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. They want to not have those have so much significance in the textbook.
Why don't we put in that JFK still alive, too, while we're at it?
They want to have stuff about Newt Gingrich and Ronald Reagan. I mean, it is so. What's funny is that I'm not nuts about, and I feel badly, I guess, for people that are, women that have a man inside of them or guys that have a woman inside of them, whatever. But there's something in me. I love it when conservative people have to face the fact that all this crap is happening in the world. I absolutely love it. There is something, it is so much fun to see one of these religious right-wing assholes have to deal. It's like that congressman from, he's a state senator from California who voted against every gay thing out here, and then they catch him with a guy coming out of the gay bar the other day. Right. I love all that stuff. Can you imagine somebody thinking the earth is 5,000 years old?
But that broad on The View thought it was flat, for crying out loud.
Well, that's true. That's true. But, yeah, I mean, it's and then, of course, the people that demonstrate against the conservatives, they're an odd-looking bunch also, Shuli.
Right. Oh, please.
None of them seem to have, none of them are pure bloods.
If you're walking down the middle and there's two sides and you had to pick one,
yeah,
it would be a tough choice. Just on looks alone.
Yeah. You'd want to be on the conservative side just on looks alone. Yeah, that's right. On the other side, it's always like, now let me ask a question. Why would a Filipino Polish person want to end up with an African American, a Native American Chinese? It's almost like, why would you want to mix all that blood? It's like mixing too many spices into a soup.
Well, I remember a couple years ago, ABC did a new spin-off, a new thing of Cinderella, but it was all,
I know,
it was all like mixed races and stuff, and like,
how'd that do, by the way?
It was awful. It was all, you know why it didn't do well? Jason Alexander was in it. Kiss of death.
This is in the state of Texas. I'm references to Ralph Nader, who, by the way, is responsible for I want to say 150 of the safety measures that we live by today. Seat belts are just one of them, but child safety and everything else. Here's another incredible thing. Out of the 150 safety things that Ralph Nader may be responsible for over the last 30, 40 years, when George Bush was in, he overturned 100 of them, all sorts of safety measures. This is the state of Texas. They want to play down references to Ralph Nader and Ross Perot. Remember him, the independent guy? And they want to add the speeches next to Abraham Lincoln of Stonewall Jackson, the Confederate general, and they want to put the ideas of Jefferson Davis's inaugural address side by side with Abraham Lincoln's speeches. I mean, that's the most racist thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, Stonewall Jackson and Jefferson Davis fought so they could keep slaves. I mean, you can make it any other thing you want to make it. But, so you think Florida screwed up?
Yeah, right. We have to second guess that. This is going to be a photo finish.
Yeah, but what about New York? You're not allowed to cook with salt soon.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
It's retarded.
Every time a good idea comes along, leave it to Garrett to mess it up. Okay.
You got to take out a loan for a soda out here.
No, it's a good idea not to cook with salt.
No, how do you season anything?
How about you give me a choice whether
you
or not
use basil or you use little oregano or something like that.
Salt's main thing is it boosts flavor. How
I wish you used more salt because since salt absorbs moisture, it would probably eliminate a lot of the in your mouth.
It's a good idea.
It's a very good idea.
Thanks.
You know what I love about you? He walks down the street, Shuli, going, in a few moments I'm going to say something, and no matter what I say, it's going to lead to the saliva in my mouth.
That's right.
By the way, the Jay Thomas Show is on every Friday morning on Howard 101. Shuli is here. Normally, Madison is here, and other people haven't shown up. There was a time when they were all excited about this show, and everybody would show up on time. And now we're lucky if we even get the microphones turned on here. But I will just. Didn't we have that guy Kevin for a while? What happened to him? Is he gone now too?
He had to do something for Howard.
Yeah, always got to do something.
Christina,
hey, by the
all
way,
time.
you had the $75,000 winner yesterday. What's her name? The whore that was with
Jamie Jungers, I believe, is the
right.
winner.
Now, what did she have to do to win the money in the what was it called? Tiger Woods' best
Mistress
whore
Beauty
contest?
Pageant, I believe.
What's that? The Mistress Beauty Pageant.
Yeah,
that's a pleasant name compared to what I would have called it.
Sure,
right.
I don't know how many volunteers you'd get for what you'd call it.
You mean if I'd have said, "Hey, we're looking for the Tiger Woods whores to come in and do stuff"? What was the talent portion of it?
I think it was based on like a bikini thing, and then the personality round was basically them telling their story of Tiger, of hooking up with Tiger and Howard interviewing him, and they judged it on those two criteria. And what I loved about the winner is the comment she had at the end where they asked her, because then they brought the press in to have a press conference after she won, and the press says, somebody asked her, "Would you do it all over again?" And she says, "At first, I thought no, but it has led to a lot of good things for me, and God has a plan for all of us."
Now, this is a woman, she's a cocktail waitress.
"I got a plan for you, and it has to do with your ankles behind your head."
She's a cocktail waitress.
Yeah, some plan.
And she won $75,000. Who gave her the money?
Ashley Madison, I believe, was the sponsor.
That guy's a genius.
Noel Biederman?
Noel Biederman.
He's a genius. Yeah, Noel Biederman.
He was a judge, too.
So, and then how many were there?
There were supposed to be 4. 1 backed out, and 3 ended up making it. The story is that he's paying all of them off left and right to shut up.
Tiger is, yeah.
And I guess these are the 3 that he didn't get to.
Did any of them mention his penis or his sexual ability, or if he was a good lover? Or
Yeah. They mentioned that he didn't use condoms. He liked anal. He was cheap.
Oh, come on.
He was cheap. He flew him out coach when he'd fly these broads out.
Well, of course you fly a whore coach.
His
What are you
penis is
kidding?
bigger than Magic Johnson's. Didn't that come out?
Who would
Michael
screw
Jordan.
Magic Johnson?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, thank God. Oh, Michael Jordan. So one of the women had been with Michael Jordan and him, or he was with them together?
No, it was a separate occasion.
Who was that one?
I don't remember which one it was, but what's funny is Tiger and Michael are friends. So this chick, it's almost as if you're thinking, well, did one of them go to the other one? Hey, man, give this shit a try.
Exactly. Oh, of course. And now she's into God and stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's some woman out there, Garrett, I don't know if you found it or not, this is alleged, that says that she was basically was she doing blow or screwing Charlie Sheen and his wife, and the kid was in the other room? Is that coming out also, that story?
Yeah.
What's her deal?
Brittany Ashland.
God, don't they all have the most whore names in the world? Brittany Ashland. I mean, come on. What do you say, Shirley? Center stage?
Yeah, coming up on Fantasy Stage.
Brittany Ashland!
Pretty soon, it's going to be normal chick names because they've used
That's
all the stupid
unbelievable.
names up.
Brooke is being treated for crack addiction and alcoholism.
Wow, poor
Charlie
darling.
had been using cocaine and also started boozing again.
God. And then they brought this other Brittany. Now, where'd they meet old Brittany? Where'd she come from? Brittany Ashland.
Dr. Drew Soberhouse. No, I don't know.
It doesn't
They got her
say
over
here,
there.
no.
Well, if I wanted to get laid, first place I would go would be the sex addiction classes. I mean, that's actually a great scam. To sign up. I mean, don't you know you would meet tons of freaky women? Or do they put you in class with guys only? The sex addiction thing. That would be bad.
You can choose which one you want to go to.
I'd want to go to the co-ed.
Every guy wants co-ed.
Yeah.
Well, I would say this to the doctor. Look, since my problem is my inability to be around women without wanting to be with them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day, okay? I think I need to be in a co-ed thing, doctor. All right, God, that's a great scam. But what would it cost you? Like $20,000 a month? Those really expensive ones?
Like a high-priced brothel.
It would be, yeah. Very high priced. The phones have somehow rung off the hook for some reason. Frank of Boston, the Jay Thomas Show with Shirley. How are you? Good morning, Frank.
That's just Barney Frank.
Oh, it's Barney Frank.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You
How are you,
know,
Barney?
when you name your kid Brittany, you can pretty much guarantee she's going to have 3 cocks in her ass. It's like naming your kid Jeeves. What the fuck do you think he's going to do for a living? You know, I mean, Jay.
Yeah, I can hear you. You don't sound anything like Barney Frank. I don't hear any goats in the background, nothing. This is like half a bit, you know?
What do you want from me? It's early in the morning.
Well,
it sounded like Barney rolled over and hit dial on the phone.
Yeah, thanks, Barney Frank. Jack, Atlanta.
I tried to think of Liberace to my prom. They weren't having it.
I guess you're waking up now. You almost hit a line.
Hey, Jay, let me ask you a question.
What is it, Barney Frank?
When you come, is it like rolling out a tube of toothpaste or beating an area rug? All that stuff's coming out, Jay. You know what I mean?
All right. Thank you, Frank. Barney, whatever your name is. Celebrity voices impersonated poorly. Let's go to, you made people hang up. Let's go to Phineas of Arkansas. Hey, Phineas, it's Jay Thomas. How are you?
Hey there, fellas. What's up?
What's up?
You having a good day?
Sure.
We're fine. You know, we don't need to respond to how's it going and all that stuff. It's fine. It's good.
All right, well.
It's the middle of the friggin' night. We're fine.
Julie, what she said was she said, I'd like to thank God and my dog, is what she said.
And her dog.
Yeah, and they also revealed that Tiger wanted his ass licked all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You like the salad tossed, huh?
That's what they were saying. But I was going about... Jay,
Wait a sec. Wait, no, did you really hear that, or are you just saying that?
No, that's what they said on the show. I listened to the whole thing twice.
I have to tell you something.
What's that?
I mean this. If I had been, this Elon, his wife and everything else, I mean this. There is no way, if I was his wife, there's no reason for her to stay with him. It's just too much. There is too much information. It is, how do you can't recover from that. You just cannot. It's embarrassing to me. You know, I'm not even a part of it. How would you like, Shuli, women to come on, add them all up, and tell about what you like in the bedroom? It's embarrassing.
That's a rough one.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
She should, there's no way he recovers from this. No way. None whatsoever.
I just picture him sitting next to a TV just going, oh, my God, please stop. Please.
First
please
of all,
stop
he's
talking.
This incredible square who's completely shut down and seemingly not really, verbose, right? And he's had to learn how to speak, and he's raised, millions of dollars for kids, and he's done wonderful stuff. But he's very insulated, on his own, right? And now to hear that he's getting his ass licked and having these complete sluts tell all these sexual things about him. Oh, my God. You know what?
And that perfect nerdy computer voice. I'd like you to lick my asshole if that's possible.
It's like hearing some, let
me check the wind real quick, see what that's like.
It's like hearing about one of the apostles or something, or hearing about King David's sex life, It's
right, it's like Prince Charles has 17 hooahs.
Prince Charles he likes me to watch when his horse licks his ass, He likes me to put a polo, whatever that stick is, up his ass a little bit.
He loves when I put the queen's crown around my asshole, and he screws me through the crown and my butt.
What are you talking about, Prince Charles? Remember that time he wrote that letter? It might have been to Camilla that he wanted to be her tampon. Remember that?
Ew.
He wrote a letter to Camilla. I do seem to remember this, that he loved her so much. This is when he was still married to Princess Snort. What's her name? They make my wife actually has one of those plates. The Princess Diana plate.
Break it over her head for buying it.
You know what? I don't know why she bought it, but when Princess Diana died,
what else she have? The Little Rascals set too.
How many years ago was that she died? Because
she died in 1987.
Okay,
it was a dark day in Phineas's life.
I'm sorry, 97.
We were married 10 years, and you don't know. First of all, after I got married, I'm in the kitchen I'm married 6-8 months. I'm in the kitchen, and I all of a sudden hear a strange noise in the bedroom, and I go up, and the TV is on, and my wife is watching Who's the Boss reruns, right? And I thought it was an accident. I thought she was asleep. She watched Who's the Boss reruns, for years. So that's the first thing you learn. Then 10 years later, Princess Di dies, and my wife buys one of the friggin' plates. And it comes, and opens it, and she puts it in a special place or whatever. And I keep saying to her, please let's do coke off of one of Princess Di's plates.
How great would that be?
Please let's lay out some coke off of. You got to.
Mind
you got to do some
Mind if I crush up my weed on Princess Di?
Please. You know.
It's so ridiculous. Like, really, what has she done for your wife? You know, what
idea.
connection does your wife have with Princess Di?
Why would you want a plate?
And that's right. Like maybe, all right, a picture you can hang up on the wall. It's a friggin' plate.
Remember the actor Robert Urich? He passed away.
Vegas. Remember Vegas, that shit.
And I did Spencer for Hire, and so we became friends. He was a radio salesman, not a disc jockey, in Chicago. He sold radio time in Chicago. So when I was a disc jockey in L.A., we got to know each other, and he said, I was in radio, but I was a salesman, and I used to bring him on my radio show, and we'd talk about him, selling radio time and what it was like. And then Spencer for Hire starts, and I play the bad guy's son, Tony Braz. I don't know what I think my name was Tony Braz. Anyway, and he ends up killing me, and my car goes into the water of the Boston Bay and all that stuff. And I have to do that scream, when the car goes off the side, I go, ah! Like that, right? So I do it all. So we go to visit them in this beautiful this chalet they have in Deer Valley, Utah, outside of Salt Lake City. And we go in their house, and there are all of these plates on the wall from The Sound of Music. These commemorative when you walk into this beautiful home, there's $1 million of art on the wall and else, and there are these commemorative plates.
$1 million of art, and then Julie Andrews.
From The Sound of Music.
Walking into a trailer park.
That's right. So I walk in, and I'm with my wife, and of course, I meet Urich's wife, and he's got 2 or 3 boys or whatever, and there's a cocktail party going on. So of course, me, big mouth, I go, come on, man, what's with the plates? Multi-million-dollar house. What's with the plates?
I know you though. Did you say it like that? Did you go, what the fuck is this shit?
He says, my wife was the oldest daughter in Sound of Music. That's what she played. So the plates are a tribute to his wife. See?
Yeah, well, at least there's a connection there.
Well, she never worked again, right? So I make fun of the plates, okay? So, of course, that didn't start the evening, and the wife doesn't look anything like, what's the song? I'm 17 going on 14 or whatever that stupid song is. But the wife was
16 going on 17.
I think that was the wife. Yeah.
Liz Mary on my fan page thinks you should put the Coke on the Di plate and make it like a goatee around her face, like a Coke goatee.
Boy, Phineas is a hard laugh. He doesn't even chuckle.
Nothing.
Wait, little girl, on an empty
I don't just give it a pity laugh.
You don't do pity laugh?
You gotta earn it. Put on your hard hat. We're going to work.
Guy's a truckload of pigs, and we're having trouble getting laughs out of him.
Let me tell you less about White Call.
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on. Is this The Sound of Music?
You are 16, going on 17, baby. It's time to think.
It's the pedophile theme song.
Better beware, be canny, and
we didn't realize what these songs were about, did we?
You're on the brink.
You're on the brink.
You are 16, going on 17. Fellows will fall in line.
Of me sliding one to you.
Young lads and roues and cads.
Your paper cut smells like cotton candy.
Totally.
What is she going to sing?
Prepared are you to face a world of men.
This is like watching West Side Story the other night when they were showing all the Academy Award movies, and all of the gang members were these gay guys with knives.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All right, come on. Where's Robert Urich's wife when I need her? All right, here we go.
I am 17, going on 18. Take care.
If the Germans were chasing you, Shula, you think you'd be singing this song up in the mountains?
No, no.
That's what it's about.
And why did they call it The Sound of Music? Why didn't they call it Creepy, the musical?
Where is Robert Urich's wife?
She's on the phone ordering more plates. She's probably some crazy woman. I was in The Sound of Music. She's never in it.
No, she wasn't in it. She was.
She's
very
the
nice.
whistler.
I was in Star Wars. I played Darth Vader.
You just tuned in. We're waiting to hear Robert Urick's wife sing.
That'll keep them tuned
Here
in.
she comes.
Here we go. Here she comes. Here we go.
I am 16, going on 17. I know that I'm naive.
Yeah.
Fellows I meet may tell me I'm sweet, and willingly I'll believe.
All right, thanks. Finally, we got to it. Yes, Phineas, why'd you call us? Hi, good morning. Yes, sir.
Oh, I was going to say, down here, when they start singing, you're 16 going on 17, that's when you start breaking up with them because they're getting too old.
All right.
Traded in for a younger model.
We're not going to laugh at anything you say, okay?
There you go.
How do you like it, pal?
Yeah. How's it feel?
My brother's 8 months younger than me. He's the one that started licking, sucking that milk. And I tried to get him to call you a couple weeks ago because you said it. You asked
Your brother sexually gets turned on by his wife's breast milk, and he kept it going many years past the time that normally the fluid would have dried up.
There's 4 years in between their two boys.
So he kept he basically made his wife's breasts like a wet nurse, right?
Yeah, kind of continue on lactating there.
Is he still sucking on it and letting the milk being sprayed on the
Well, let me tell you this. There's his youngest now is 4 years old, and he called me the other day. He's pregnant again.
Damn.
Now he's 8 months younger than me, and I've got three grandkids, and my third grandson is going to be the same age as his youngest boy.
Does he have enough money to have all these kids?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty well.
Well, then that's all that counts. Hey, did you hear about the woman that they were arresting, and they're putting on the this was during the week, right? They were putting on her outfit, and she squirted breast milk in the face of the female officer.
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
And they arrested her for assault.
Attica.
Hey, you know what?
How do you consider it an assault if some breast milk squirts in your face?
Well, what's funny is how she got her to get close up. She goes, "Does this smell funny to you? Smell this." And then she nailed her right in the eye.
It'd be funny if there was a date on each tit, wouldn't it?
Sell by.
Best if sucked by, 3/27/10,
Let me tell you how backwards Texas is.
What?
Sure.
1958, black man went up to St. Peter's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
St. Peter said, "You can't come in here." And he said, "It's only for brave people." The black man said, "I'm the bravest person that's ever lived. I just married a white woman in front of the KKK in Austin, Texas." St. Peter said, "My, you are a brave man. When did you do this?" He said, "About 10 minutes ago."
Oh, because they killed him right after.
Yeah. All right, Phineas. Thanks very much.
I thought it was a different joke.
Go back to slopping the hogs. Thank you. It's the Jay Thomas Show with Shuli, and we actually have the breast milk attack audio coming up, and you will hear the scariest. Now you have children now, Shuli. This is going to be some of the scariest audio you've ever heard come out of a little boy's mouth. It's the Jay Thomas Show at Howard 101.
Because you can't make this up.
Your name is Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Because of free speech.
Where life's merry-go-round runs out of kilter.
Because you're slightly curious.
Just weird.
We'll be back with more of the Jay Thomas Show.
Howard 101.
Around the world, then up your block.
It's time for America to wake up.
No more bullshit.
This is it. It's a revolution.
This is a Howard 100 News Brief.
I'm Ralph Howard. This may be too much information. A medical procedure for Bigfoot, the Stern Show whackpacker. The kind of story reporter Steve Langford loves. It's Howard 100 News, Langford Unleashed.
Howard 100 News, Langford Unleashed.
What happened to my asshole? They found a cyst in my ass. They did.
Bigfoot bravely confronting the reality, he says, of having to submit to a kind of medical roto-rooter up his anus.
They put a scope up my ass. They did. and that's how they found the cyst in my ass.
The not-so-jolly Green Mountain Giant telling Howard 100 News a lifetime of cigarettes and booze and eating like a wild man apparently left some debris in the drain pipe.
Yeah, a little blood coming out once in a while. I knew it was something wrong with me, it is.
But his doctor courageously taking a close look, according to Bigfoot, and deciding it was time to clean out the putrid plumbing.
Cut it out of me. What do you think they did?
And the wild, woolly mammoth of the Whack Pack reporting he's resting comfortably so far.
I'm not worried about taking a shit.
Let us know how that goes.
Yeah.
Steve Langford, Howard 100 News.
Throwing people under the bus since 2005. This is Howard 100 News.
For traffic and weather on demand, go to Sirius channels 148 to 158, XM channels 210 to 222. For Dallas and Fort Worth, updates on the LBJ Freeway and the Airport Freeway. That's on Sirius 154 and XM 213. Another Howard 100 News Brief at the top of the hour, or as close as we can get.
Howard 100.
Bubba, the Love Sponge. On Howard 101.
We give $5,000 to anybody that wants to get a vasectomy. Right. And you're not going to be, breeding or spawning any more white or black trash kids into our society. Plus, what's the first thing a white trash guy does when he gets 5 G's? He doesn't save it. He goes out and buys a big screen TV and remodels his bar. It's going to be a stimulus package as well. So we're going to, 1, stop the breeding on the white trash ways, and 2, we're going to stimulate the economy. That's ingenious. That's what you meant to say.
The Love Sponge. Today, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on Howard 101.
It's been over a year since the largest economic bailout in U.S. history. How do you feel? Recovered? Stimulated? Or are you still buried in debt like millions of other Americans? If you're stuck with credit card debt, or fallen behind, or barely making minimum payments, there are options available that can help. Call American Credit Card Solutions now for a free consultation. The toll-free number is 800-648-4545. Debt relief is available to struggling Americans having to choose between essential expenses and paying credit card bills. The information is free from American Credit Card Solutions. The toll-free number is 800-648-4545. Listeners with credit card debt of $10,000 or more are urged to call immediately to find out what options are available. This is a confidential call. The toll-free number is 800-648-4545. 800-648-4545.
You have a mortgage and a load of other debt. Wouldn't it be great if it all just went away? No More Mortgage can change your life.
We paid off all of our bills.
All your debt, including your mortgage, in as little as 9 years?
With No More Mortgage, we will have saved over $313,000 in interest payments.
Even have more money left over each month?
It lowered our monthly payments by a little over $500.
No More Mortgage.
Where have they been all of our life?
If you knew about something like that, you'd want to tell everybody.
Whenever I have a friend or someone that needs this service, I give them the number.
I'm Larry Ruff, president of No More Mortgage. This is unlike anything you have ever seen before, and it will absolutely not harm your credit. Call for your free CD. Learn how you can eliminate all your debt, including your mortgage, much sooner than you ever dreamed possible. The more debt you have, the more we can help.
Call now for your free CD. 800-286-5273.
This works. Call the number.
Call for your free CD. 800-286-5273. 800-286-5273.
Is your computer running slowly? Thinking about buying a new one? Don't waste your money. Your computer could be infected with spyware, malware, viruses, registry errors, spam, and pop-ups. You don't need to buy a new computer. Just go to DoubleMySpeed.com and find out what's slowing your computer down.
Double My Speed totally cleaned up my system and increased my speed.
DoubleMySpeed.com increased the speed of my computer from the very first day.
My computer was on its last leg. Now it's like new again.
Get your free diagnosis at DoubleMySpeed.com and keep your computer running fast. Your free diagnosis at DoubleMySpeed.com is easy and fast.
It's the best you could ask for. Outstanding, and my computer is running faster than ever.
Find out what is slowing down your computer with a free diagnosis at DoubleMySpeed.com. Don't waste your time with your slow computer. Get your free diagnosis now at DoubleMySpeed.com. That's DoubleMySpeed.com.
Man, are you urinating more frequently? Do you wake up to urinate? Don't ignore your prostate health. I'm Roger Mason, research chemist and developer of the all-natural supplement Beta Prostate, and I want you to know about a free free bottle giveaway. Beta Prostate helps your body support good prostate health. Your prostate affects the quality of your life, including your sleeping habits and even intimacy. Beta Prostate has plant sterol shown to support healthy urine flow and healthy sleeping habits. And Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto capsules to get the same plant sterols found in one Beta Prostate. New customers can get a free bottle of Beta Prostate. You only pay a small shipping and handling fee. Make the call today and get your free bottle.
To get your free bottle of Beta Prostate, call 1-800-394-3285. One free bottle per household. Call now and try Beta Prostate for free. Call 1-800-394-3285. That's 1-800-394-3285.
Seems wrong. Seems wrong.
Here are the thrill seekers.
Oh my God! Julie Madison and Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Howard 101.
Shuli is here. Of course, this is the Jay Thomas Show, and 888-STERN-101. In a little while, we'll be checking in with the owners of Butt Drugs. Shuli, would you go to a drugstore called Butt Drugs?
I definitely have to check it out.
All right. Butt Drugs. We're talking to people from Butt Drugs. And they have a jingle. They have T-shirts. They've been around for, 100 years or something, Garrett?
At least
100 years.
You know, they're the ones that have the malt shop.
Right.
And they sell liquor, too. And
I thought of a totally different type of shop there.
Proud of it. Now, on my afternoon show, Howard talked about it. I talked about it, too, and we interviewed Kevin Bacon, and I asked him about Bernie Madoff. And everybody's heard it. It went viral onto YouTube and all. And Kevin Bacon, the interview crashed and burned after I asked about his losses to Bernie Madoff. I'm going to have a woman on who has written a book called The Bag Lady Papers. She was incredibly wealthy, and I guess a novelist and everything else, and gave all her money to Bernie Madoff.
Ooh.
And is now virtually a bag lady. And she's written a book about it. So we're going to have a person on who has an honest and normal reaction when someone asks her a question about losing her money to Bernie Madoff, okay?
Someone who can express themselves and is in touch with their emotions.
And I don't know if this is part of her emotional breakdown, but for some reason, she takes pictures of plastic blow-up dolls committing suicide.
All right. Maybe she's not 100% perfect, but I'll tell you one thing, Kevin. Yeah. She's never thrown glitter in front of her face and yelled, "Let's dance." Okay?
That's right.
Okay? She's never had a chicken fight with tractors, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be talking to a urologist later who says that during March Madness, it's the best time to have your vasectomy. So these are the guests today. And before I start answering all the calls that we have, I saw somebody called in and somebody emailed and said, "You guys sound like you need to drink more coffee." Okay, I'm going to say this now, and I say it all the time. And Shuli's the same way I am. We live, okay? I went out last night knowing full well I had to get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I drank and I ate and I stayed out as late as I wanted to stay out, okay? And then I got up and I come to work, okay? I'm just like a person that stays up and then goes to whatever job they have, and it happens to be that we have to talk. So yes, for a little while, we're going to sound sleepy and as if we have been drinking or smoking or whatever we've been doing.
Yeah, but the one person who does drink a ton of coffee is Garrett. Listen to how he sounds.
Yeah, he sounds ridiculous.
Right.
Awful. And we drink coffee, we do everything else. But this is a show that's run by normal individuals, okay? I'm not going to go to bed at 6 o'clock so I can sound awake and different than a person that normally gets up at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning.
And you know why you wouldn't go to bed at 6? Because life is happening, my friend.
Exactly. You know, and I was a morning disc jockey for 20 years. I worked, every morning, all over the country. And I would some nights I'd be exhausted, go to bed at 9 o'clock or 10 or whatever. Most of the time, I just lived my regular life, and I woke up and I went to work. okay? And so, so our voices are a little gravelly, okay? But we've lived, all right? And we continue to live.
And you know
so
what
screw
the hell-
you if you think we need coffee or whatever. Drop dead. How's that sound?
If you hear this voice, if I listen and I hear a guy's voice like, hey, man, I go, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Exactly.
He's
this
lived.
is a morning show.
He's
okay? It
lived.
sounds like the morning, right?
I
really do. I hate the people who wake up and they whistle and they're in a good mood.
Oh, I want to
I
fucking
can't stand
strangle
them.
those people. I get on the train and I put on my headphones and I listen to death metal the whole ride in because I wake up so angry that I'm up that I can't sleep all day long and all night. I put on this death metal and
Listen to that voice. Listen, did you hear the mucus just now?
Oh yeah, it's awful. But you know what? I was on the air till midnight last night. By the time I got home, it was 1:30, 2 o'clock. By the time I'm done eating and smoking a joint, it's 3:30. It's 3:30.
Time to come back. Exactly.
Boom. I take a nap, close my eyes for a little bit, plug in my comedy battery, recharge it.
That's it.
And I'm out.
I had sushi last night. I drank not the little bottles, big bottles of that Japanese beer.
Sapporo?
Kirin,
Somebody's shit don't stink.
All the way in the Philippines is Andrew. Yes, Andrew. It's the Jay Thomas Show with Shuli. What time is it in the Philippines right now?
Let me look at my watch. It's 8:45 Friday evening.
See, that's weird. If I was in the Philippines, it'd always be the same time. Time to leave.
It's 9 o'clock at night in the Philippines, and of course, people always think I'm crazy. But you've already lived Friday, the entire day. You've lived it.
What happens?
I hate to tell you, but it's a Republican's nightmare. In the future, Asians run everything.
All right, there we go. So by 9 o'clock tonight, Asians will be running everything in the world. Now, is it nice in the Philippines? Are the beaches nice? Is it because
are the lady boys friendly?
We only see the riots and we only see the poverty and the Maoist guerrillas in the jungle
and the shoes in Imelda Marco's closet.
But they wouldn't you agree, Shuli, that I have never seen a poster or a picture or something that says "Come to the Philippines" and beautiful beaches and
Nothing.
surfing.
You can watch CNN. They do a story on 10 Israelis being blown up on a bus, 4 Palestinians killed at a rally, and then the very first commercial is "Come to Israel."
Right.
Come visit.
What's the Philippines like, Andrew? Do you have a pleasant time?
I was in Manila the last few days, and Manila's a toilet. But I'm in Cebu, which is an island about 45-minute flight south, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Bright sunny skies. Yeah.
Now, do they have those Maoist terrorists there that are trying to kill everybody?
They're all the way in the south, and it's funny when you read the newspaper because the name of their organization is it's spelled MILF, Maoist International Liberation Force. It's in the newspaper.
So they're MILFs. They're all MILFs.
You'll see headlines in the newspaper like government slams MILF with rockets.
And you imagine this really good-looking mother of 3, and a rocket is hitting her in the back, right?
I posted some of those headlines. I think Shuli's in them.
You know what I would do if I was in the Philippines? I would let everybody know that, and I would begin every cartoon would announce that MILF means mothers I'd like to fuck, and I would spread that around the country, and you would actually joke the terrorists out of popularity.
You do so much damage, they would have to change formats, literally.
Yes, they would. They'd have to change.
Last time I was here, they were having a constitutional assembly, and the newspaper had a reading: "Government officials slam con ass, the constitutional enemy." It was right in the newspaper.
Slam con ass.
By the way, before we go any further, I am looking at the pictures of these mistresses from yesterday. I mean, every one of their bodies is unbelievable, Shuli.
Yeah, but I don't think the one who won was the best looking one.
Is that the little blonde?
Yeah, I think the picture should have the crown on her head.
No, she doesn't have the crown, but there's a cute blonde. Is that the one that won?
There were a couple.
She's wearing
blondes.
a wristwatch.
Yeah, the one in the red.
Yeah. You know what? She's so clean looking. The other two look like whores, but she looks like really the little girl next door. There's nothing more exciting than a sweet, clean looking little girl who you find out later is just a filthy, disgusting, screw everybody, whore. There's just nothing more exciting than that. In fact, hold it a second. I want to have a dramatic pause here for a moment. I want you to let that sink in. You you meet the cleanest, the sweetest looking thing you've ever seen. I mean, I've dated them. You fall in love with them, and then you point out this clean, sweet, beautiful girl, and then 4 guys go, oh my God, I was with her. She was so drunk she pissed herself and did all my friends. Let's pause for a moment. All right. Thank you. So, Andrew, you're in the Philippines. What can we do for you, Andrew? Go ahead.
I was in a cab this morning on my way to a meeting, and the cab driver turns to me and says, "Do you know who this Stern person is?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "What's Stern?" He goes, "Howard Stern, the radio guy." I said, "Yeah, I was listening to him this morning in my hotel." And he said, "Didn't they do a beauty pageant about this Tiger Woods mistresses? It was in the news here. I didn't see it."
Now, is his mother part Filipino? Where is his mother from? Oh, that's why they would be interested, right?
One of his ancestors is Filipino, so they're interested here. So I told the guy all the details of the pageant, and he says, "Oh, he has a large penis? That must be from the black side, not the Filipino side."
This is your Filipino cab driver.
Yeah, it was really funny in broken English spoken in the present tense.
So why don't we have Sirius all over the world? I don't quite understand that.
Well, you kind of do through the internet.
Yeah, I get it everywhere. I called you last week from
No, but
China.
I mean, why don't they promote it so that over in Europe or the Philippines or whatever, people would buy subscriptions to it and listen to it? It's a satellite. It goes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the Philippines. They're chanting "Let's kill MILFs" over there. You want them to
oh, you mean it wouldn't be?
Yeah, you want to go? Oh, Mad Dog Radio. I got to pick up a unit.
Yeah,
they can't get it in their cars, but if Sirius promoted it, they could sell all over the world.
Oh, I think so
listened
too.
To you in the lobby of my hotel in Saudi Arabia.
Wow, that's exciting.
You got balls, man. I'd never go there.
All right, Andrew. Thanks very much. What do you sell? Plastic? Guys. You sell plastic and stuff?
I'm in latex.
Yeah, plastic salesman. All right. Somebody calling himself racist Jerry Seinfeld from Miami. Yes, racist
Sounds
Jerry
like
Seinfeld.
a good bit on paper.
Here we go. Yeah.
What is the deal with black people? I mean, why are they good at basketball?
The worst.
I want to play basketball. Pass me the ball.
He's laughing himself.
You idiot.
Couldn't even get through it.
Fuck you both, then.
Hansi,
pretending he was racist Jerry Seinfeld. Joe Prentice has emailed me at jthomas.com. You need to get your facts straight. A little while ago, I mentioned that the school board in Texas wants to print next to Abraham Lincoln's speeches, the speeches of Stonewall Jackson, a Confederate general, and Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy. And I said, why would you want to print speeches of people that were fighting to keep slavery, human beings, enslaved for whatever reason? This comes from, and I love it, the slavery issue was not what started the Civil War. It was Northern aggression. It was the issue of federalization of the South. The North had the factories and needed the raw materials grown in the South, and the South didn't need the North. Lincoln and Congress tried to force the issue, and the South, of course, seceded. If you look at statistics, there were almost as many slaves in the North as there were in the South. The difference was that the Northern slaves were butlers and housekeepers, and the Southern slaves mostly worked in the fields. Quite a few of the Southern slaves fought for the Confederacy, and a much smaller number fought for the Union. Joe, you are so full of shit. It is. I don't know where you're from, but it said, oh, you're from Virginia. Yeah, that's where it all started. Okay, it was about slavery and the guys that fought. If Shirley, you and I are slaves, right?
You got that right.
And they beat the shit out of us, right?
Yeah.
And they go, okay, we'll stop beating you if you'll pick up this gun and fight for us. We would pick up a gun and fight, okay?
I would have looked at him and said, why didn't you just ask?
Exactly.
You didn't have to beat me. I would have done it.
I'd have done it. I'd have done whatever you said.
Yeah, you seem like a nice guy.
They used to keep some of the slaves from running away. They would cut their Achilles tendons. Okay, they tortured these people. They beat them. I'm from Louisiana, born in Texas. I know all about the legacy of slavery. And of course, all of you that live in the North have to realize that when states were admitted to the Union, some were slave states and some were free states. So all of this nonsense that it was Northern aggression and all that is total crap. And it's also a huge bunch of bullshit bullshit that has been propagated by Southerners into conversation. Now, I love the Confederate flag, and I think it's fun to talk about the Civil War and everything else, but we were dead, absolutely flat wrong. And they sold this Northern aggression thing to the average everyday Southerner so he would pick up a gun and fight against the North, okay? But the reality was it was about slave owners who wanted to keep all of their slaves and make tons and tons and tons of money. And people that didn't have slaves, of course, fought against the South. And the other thing is that in the South, one of the reasons why you have so many people that hate black people is you always want somebody that's beneath you. And once the slaves were freed, there were white people who didn't have a lot who were pissed off that there were black people who had been slaves who were now their equal. And so that caused tremendous racism. So, don't send me all of this racist shit, you KKK asshole, Joe Prentice. And they shouldn't have anybody's speeches that says that anything about slavery or saving this. I mean, I love the South, and I'm ashamed that we had all that crap.
Cracker ass cracker. Cracker ass cracker. I'll put my foot in the cracker ass cracker.
Yeah, look at that. If we hadn't had the Civil War.
Joe Whitey.
Wait a minute. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank. I was so upset by my little comments. What's his name?
Pete Stone.
No, Chris. Chris Rock.
Oh yeah.
Chris Rock would be somebody's slave. Now that makes me laugh a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'm still laughing at racist Jerry Seinfeld. I love that so much.
Right. Now, surely today you were brought in by a cab driver.
Oh, my God.
Or a driver, not a cab driver. Tell him what he said to you, this guy.
I literally was in the car a minute, maybe 2 minutes, and he turns away from my block, and there's a park near us, and he goes, "Oh, you live near park, huh?" I go, "Yeah." "You can bring the girls here to rape them." And then turns around and winks at me like, huh? Get it? And I was just like, "Yeah, sure can. High five on that, creepy fucker." And then I'm
Jesus.
like, "Yeah, wake me up when we're on 49th Street. I'm going to go to sleep, pretend you're not driving me."
Yeah, I mean, they're out there.
You can bring the girls to rape here, huh? High five.
All right. Stay where you are. The people from Butt Drugs are on the way.
The Jay Thomas Show. Howard 101.
Around the world, then up your block.
It's time for America to wake up.
No more bullshit.
This is it. It's a revolution.
This is a Howard 100 News Brief.
I'm Ralph Howard. Once again, Howard Stern says it like it is, and not everybody likes it. This time, Howard blasting the star of Precious for being so fat that it's dangerous. An expert agrees. It's Howard 100 News in depth.
Howard 100 News in depth.
Howard pointed out that she might be at risk as a result of her weight. I think that, he's making a good point.
Dr. Louis Aronne is the director of the Comprehensive Weight Control Program at New York Presbyterian Hospital in New York City. And he agrees, just by looking at a photo of actress Gabourey Sidibe, that being obese isn't healthy.
Is it true that someone who's obese is at an increased health risk and they might benefit from losing weight? Well, that's true also.
What doctors are finding out is once someone becomes obese, their brain goes haywire.
There's a breakdown in the signals that go from the fat cell to the brain. The brain can't tell how much fat is stored, and so people just start gaining more and more weight.
Dr. Aronne also says we're seeing medical problems in children and young people that we haven't seen before.
Probably in the history of the world, and that is we're seeing the adult complications of obesity in children.
He adds that 1 in 3 adults in our country is obese and says something needs to be done to stop what he says is an epidemic. Lisa G., Howard 100 News.
If you're full of shit, we'll sniff you out. This is Howard 100 News.
When you see news related to The Stern Show, email Howard100News at Sirius-radio.com or call 877-H100-TIP. For traffic and weather on demand, go to Sirius 148 to 158 or XM 210 to 222. For Atlanta, updates on the I-285 and the 75 on Sirius 153 and XM 212. Another Howard 100 News Brief at the top of the hour, or as close as we can get.
Howard 100.
Texas residents. Physician authorization is required. A Lifeline Screening affiliated physician will provide authorization for you if you qualify.
Of all the things I think about every day, a stroke wasn't one of them. Then my brother, who always took care of himself, had one. My doctor said 4 out of 5 people who have a stroke never show symptoms. But 80% of strokes can be prevented when identified early. So I decided to get screened. In about an hour, Lifeline Screening did a series of painless screenings using sonograms to look inside my arteries to help determine my risk for stroke and heart disease.
If you're over 50, Lifeline Screening has screening packages for as little as $139. They can help detect the warning signs so you can prevent a stroke and heart disease from happening to you.
When I got the results, I went to my doctor, who developed a treatment plan.
Lifeline Screening's community health screenings are coming to your neighborhood. Appointments are limited. Call 888-615-TEST. That's 888-615-TEST. 888-615-TEST.
End the IRS nightmare now. Call the experts at the Tax Debt Relief Center for your free consultation. Find out how the Tax Debt Relief Center can help you settle back taxes, help you with penalties and interest, help release liens, stop levies and seizure, and end embarrassing wage garnishments. If you have $15,000 or more in tax debt, call us now. Call 800-719-8132 for your free consultation. That's 800-719-8132. Call now. 800-719-8132.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 175,000 miles, with a vehicle service contract about to expire, or no automobile breakdown coverage at all, due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy. Automobile Coverage of America has announced a revolutionary, low-cost coverage plan that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. Drivers with less than 175,000 miles who are covered will not have to pay for a vehicle repair bill again out of their own pocket. Now we pay their repair bill directly for you. This is the automobile breakdown coverage that is sweeping across the nation. That's a fraction of the cost that dealerships are charging. Drivers who activate this coverage will also receive roadside assistance, towing, and car rental at no additional cost. Call us today for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. Number to call is 800-585-4980. 800-585-4980. Again, that's 800-585-4980.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to begin? Do you fear your job is in jeopardy, or is your business income reduction keeping you awake at night? We're in the best time in 25 years to make a fortune in real estate, and you can do it without using your money or credit and replace any job or business income within 90 days. My name is Ron LeGrand, and I've taught over 500,000 people to do just that, and personally bought almost 2,000 houses and millions in commercial real estate. If you'll call 800-759-1926 and leave your name on my voicemail, I'll send you my hot new CD, Foreclosure Fortunes, and a complete guide to help you get started absolutely free. I'll show you how to build a 6-figure income part-time with no previous experience and no license required, even if you're a busy professional. Call 800-759-1926, 24 hours, and get my $69 CD and report free. Take your life back and turn this recession into the best year ever. Again, that's 800-759-1926 now.
According to a recent study, 74% of men said they would have an extramarital affair if they wouldn't get caught. Okay. Are you one of those? Well, okay. Would you have sexual relations outside of your marriage if you knew you could keep it secret? Well, Noel Biederman and the people at AshleyMadison.com, who, of course, sponsored the Tiger Woods Mistress Beauty Pageant, say that AshleyMadison.com is now a dating service specifically for married men and women looking to have a secret affair. Now, it's the best place to have this affair, AshleyMadison.com, because you'll meet married women who have just as much reason to keep the affair secret as you do. Over 5 million members are happy with AshleyMadison.com. It is the fastest growing dating service in America. It's 100% secure. It's anonymous, and it's free to join. Looking for sex that you're not getting at home? Don't sleep with a single woman who could potentially exploit you. Instead, date a married woman who has just as much reason to keep it secret as you do. Absolutely free. AshleyMadison.com, the only place you can be sure to have a discreet affair.
Your name is? Jay Thomas. The Jay Thomas Show. The Jay Thomas Show. Just weird.
Howard 101.
in the middle of reading that, I realize what I'm reading. And I think my better judgment tries to stop me from reading it, you know. I had the friggin' thing memorized. 888-STERN-101 if you want to talk to us. Shirley is here. I'm Jay Thomas. Garrett Andrews is at the control. Who is helping us answer the phones today, Garrett?
It's Pat.
Pat.
He works on Miserable Men.
All right.
And he's Scott's intern. It's a good kid.
All right. We'll talk to Pat. Go to buttdrugs.com. Let's welcome Katie Butt Beckert. Welcome to the show, Katie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful. How long has the Butt Drugs in Corydon, is it Corydon, Indiana? Is that
That's correct.
Am I saying it correct? How long have the good people at Butt Drugs been around?
Since 1952, 58 years.
Somebody sent me a I Love Butt Drugs T-shirt, and
really?
I was immediately offended, and then I realized that it was that it was a real establishment, and that's how I got to call you on the phone. So, Butt Drugs, you're proud of the name Butt.
Yes.
Very proud. And your great-grandfather, your dad, who started Butt
My
Drugs?
grandfather started
Your
it.
grandfather.
Mm-hmm. He's a pharmacist.
Here's the funny part about people who have names like Butt and Gross, you know, and stuff. They don't seem to think that there would be any derisive comments about their name. Did he ever think it was silly to put a big sign up, Butt Drugs, in the town, ever?
No, I think he had a good sense of humor, so he knew what he was doing.
Oh, he did. Way back 50-something years ago.
Right. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you were going to high school and you're an attractive woman, Katie Butt, that had to be a tough name to.
It wasn't as unique until I went to college. And
you mean
then,
high school? They just accepted you as a Butt.
Yeah, they just. I've always been Katie Butt, even though my first name is Katie. It's almost like it's just been one word.
I thought going to school with a name like Shuley was tough.
His name was Shuley.
Yeah, that's.
And what was the granddad's name? What was he called?
Well, it gets better. His name was William, but he had coal black hair, so his nickname was Blackie. And then he had a brother who had red hair, so his name was Red. And then he had another brother who had strawberry blonde hair, and they nicknamed him Pinky.
Didn't he have a brother who didn't smell good? They named him Stinky?
Well, sometimes I think they might have done that. But
so
yeah,
there's Blackie, Red, and Pinky Butt.
Right.
And, you know, you almost had me say Stinky. Blackie,
wasn't there a heavyset family member that was nicknamed Juicy?
No.
Juicy Butt.
No, we didn't have a sister that nicknamed that. But yeah, no, they enjoy, and it's still to this day when people come in the store, they say, "Oh, I remember old Blackie."
Old Blackie Butt.
The old Blackie Butt.
And you know, the T-shirts are really funny. It just says, you know, I heart Butt Drugs, and it's 2 T's.
Right.
And when you go online, you can buy it. But you are you sell booze there. Only in Louisiana, where I'm from, have I ever really seen drugstores sell booze. I wasn't even aware that other drugstores in other states sold booze. Has it always been legal to sell booze in Indiana in the drugstore?
We've had a 3-way liquor license for 25 or more years.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't sell it cold I don't believe
you can't.
Sell it
they always have
cold
crazy rules. You can't sell it cold.
You have to stand on one leg to sell it.
Yeah. And like, I'm not going to buy a hot beer and drink it all the way down. I'm going to have to wait till it's cold when I get home.
Well, I mean, you think about it, the real alcoholics don't care if it's cold or hot. They just want it.
Yeah.
You know?
We don't see a whole lot of people that pick up their prescription for pain medicine and then go grab a bottle of booze, but they can.
But you could if you wanted to.
And what's a better pain medication than booze when you think about it?
Now, Katie Butt Beckert, owner now of Butt Drugs in Corydon, Indiana. Where is Corydon, Indiana?
Corydon's about 30 miles west of Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. You're a pharmacist. I've always
No,
wondered...
I'm not. I'm not a pharmacist.
Oh, you aren't? You didn't go to pharmacy school?
Just played.
No, I went to school. I have a degree in management.
Okay.
From Indiana University at Bloomington.
But you've got all of these real drugs in that building. You know?
Right.
Now, I have to tell, has anybody, there's pharmaceutical cocaine in there. There's all these pills that you read about and everything else. do pharmacists, not at your place, not at Butt Drugs,
Right.
but you don't read about this. Do pharmacists
It's
ever have?
cocaine?
It's pharmaceutical cocaine. You know what they use it for? Don't they spray it on your tonsils and stuff?
Oh, well, it's a derivative of cocaine, but it isn't actually cocaine.
I know
But
it
yeah,
isn't.
I mean, there's a lot of strong medication, pain medication, and things like that. So
Yeah, do pharmacists have an unusual amount of drug addiction in that industry? I mean, I would every now and again when I was upset, I would come in and just,
I remember when I
pull
scooped
some pills off the counter.
I remember when I scooped ice cream at Thrifty's when I was 16.
Yes.
The other people who scooped ice cream, they ate a ton of
The
ice cream.
That's exactly correct.
Right.
Very true. See what you're saying. It's not something that you hear a whole lot about, typically because once, obviously, somebody comes to the conclusion of a problem, they may lose.
They get
their
rid of the pharmacist.
Right.
Right.
So no, not.
You don't really hear about it. You hear about doctors that are hooked on stuff and nurses and everything else, but
True.
you very seldom, and I read every paper and look for every piece of dirt I can find,
Right.
but you don't really read about a drug problem among pharmacists.
Well, typically they see so many people that come in with a problem
Yeah.
that.
Maybe they don't want to do it.
Right. And it's kind of like this too. I sell ice cream and chocolate.
Yeah.
And I don't want it. There's just too much of it. It's it's too easy to get. It's just not, but if it was hard to get, it's a little.
You know
more
what you always say, if you date the minister's daughter, you date the sheriff's daughter. I would have dated Katie Butt, Shuli, and I'd have said, Katie, can't you just get us a bottle of Vicodin or something? Can't you lift something off the counter?
Oh boy, it used to probably be a lot easier until we decided to move into the 21st century with security.
Oh yeah. Too bad.
Yeah.
How many do you sell a lot of stuff online from out of town once people find out there's Butt Drugs?
We've sold a lot of T-shirts, and we're coming out with a couple of new styles that'll make you laugh harder than I love butt drugs.
Ooh, what
yeah.
stuff?
Yeah. So
What will it say?
liquor in the front, and on the back side of the shirt it'll say parking in the rear, only at Butt Drugs.
Oh, come on.
It will, and it's true. And, some kids now, I've known schools that say, the kids can't wear the I Love Butt Drugs to school, but then, obviously, I think in local areas they can because it's a store, so it's okay. But
What about
liquor in the front, parking in the rear, Butt Drugs?
yeah, that's what it'll say.
What about Butt Drugs? We're a pain in your ass or something. I don't know, like...
Hey,
Yeah.
Shuli, you're just sharp as a tack today, aren't you?
Oh, look who's talking
Look who's
over
talking.
here.
Me,
I'm
right?
North
the
South.
lady from Butt Drugs is 10 times funnier than we are. Hey, who writes your jingles, by the way?
Do what? Who wrote it? Rhett and Link. Rhett and Link. They're they have two channels on YouTube. They were the creative men who came up with the jingle. They were commissioned by Microbuilt Corporation, and that's who sponsored the commercial.
Okay, so can we hear the jingles for Butt Drugs, please, Garrett?
There's a cry across the heartland, a yearning for the days gone by. And in little old Corden, Indiana, they're happy and they'll tell you why. They got butt drugs, they love butt drugs, butt drugs, butt drugs.
Butt drugs. I recommend butt drugs for everybody.
I can always count on butt drugs. When I think drugs, I think butt drugs. For all my health needs, I turn to butt drugs.
You want hometown service, and cheap hot coffee, and liquor. Now that's the ticket. You can tell Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens exactly where to stick it. Butt drugs.
We love butt drugs.
Butt drugs.
Butt drugs won't let you down.
Butt drugs.
Free parking in the rear.
Butt drugs.
I love butt drugs.
There you go. Now, the radio
real
stations,
people,
will radio stations run that jingle?
Well, to be honest, I've actually been on quite a few that have called and they play it and then they ask me questions and they
No, I mean, would you advertise on the local radio station?
I will. I'm going to use it, but I am going to be a little bit more cordial and cut out the Walgreens and Walmart part.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And do a lot of people, like let's say I have a prescription for something. Could I send it to you so that all of my prescriptions come via the mail from Butt Drugs? Do you have that facility?
Yeah. We ship for free.
Shuli,
yes, sir.
All of your drugs, and Shuli's wife just had a child, all of the drugs and everything else, you would have your Butt Drugs, sticker on it, see?
Yeah.
See? Online. All right.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I'm
awesome.
in love with Butt Drugs. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Katie Butt Beckert, she is the spawn of Blackie Butt,
Right.
Red Butt,
Now,
Pinky
I have a father named Tom.
and Tom Butt.
Yep.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, Katie Butt.
Well, thank you. Thanks for calling.
Right. ButtDrugs.com. There you go. Shuli, I go out of my way to have these guests for you, and then,
Get your butt plugs at Butt Drugs. I'm going to go in competition. I'm just going to open a pharmacy right across the street called Assholes. And I'm not going to fucking come out with parking in the rear. No, park as deep as you want. Welcome to Assholes. Back it up, forward.
You know what?
Park sideways. We got room.
Wouldn't it be
it's
funny
assholes.
if there was
We're huge.
Butt Drugs and next door is Dick's Sporting Goods? I have to tell you, I know that you're not supposed to laugh at that, but I mean, they have Dick's in New York, right? Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
And it's not in every city, but it's kind of a big chain, and they run jingles and everything else, and you look at it and you go, they got to know that the word dick makes you look at a sign. I mean, there's some other company called AB Dick. I don't know even what they sell, but it might even be an investment company or something.
Come on down to Cocksuckers Tile. Like what?
Fuddruckers. Remember that?
Oh my God! Every
Fuddruckers.
time I see Fuddruckers, I'm like,
what can you think?
Fuck what? Oh, Fuddruckers.
Yes. Let's go to Trev of Arizona. Yes, Trev. Shuli is here. Madison was the child was kicking, or she was vomiting or something, and she'll be back next week. Yes, Trev. How are you? Yes, sir.
Hey, Jay, how's it going? Hang on, let me get on speakerphone here.
Sure.
Anyway, how you doing this morning?
Good, thank you.
Doing good. Hey, I was calling about those Ashley Madison ads that you run on there.
Yes.
Now, I know that they're a major sponsor, and, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything, but, I'm a married man. I know you're a married man.
Yes.
Doesn't it just kind of pain you, that entire concept, just a little bit?
No, it's none of my business. In fact, to be honest, we used to interview Noel Biederman, Shuli, before he became a sponsor.
Yeah.
And what he was he was just like a internet guy. And he had just a normal kind of an internet company. And somehow he put Ashley Madison together as a way for people to hook up, almost like eHarmony or whatever. And he found that it became an internet site for married people. They kind of took it for themselves.
Sure.
And then I asked him, Noel's married with, I think, daughters and the whole thing. And he said what happened is that there seemed to be this need of married people to hook up. And so he went with the need. So
sure.
no, it doesn't bother me. No, would I use it? No, I'm not going to use it. I'm happy with what's happening at my house. But he's got 5 million members.
Yeah,
so
he's no doubt he's a business genius. I mean, there's plenty of market for that. But as a Christian and as a a good husband, I'm just kind of when I hear that, I'm just kind of like, wow, that is like one of the problems in society, and it's just being fueled by this.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Listen, Kirk Cameron, relax over there, all right?
You know what?
Hey, listen, and people are going to do it anyways. I mean, so at least the guy is. The only thing that upsets me about Ashley Madison is I didn't think of it first.
Well, the thing I wonder about is when you meet up with the woman, I would have to have her ID and her marriage license. So I would be checking her papers in the parking lot. It's like you're checking
to see if she's an undercover cop.
Exactly. I would be checking the papers.
You wearing a wire? Get up on the wall, bitch.
Hey, speaking of marriage, and I have, all of these gorgeous women that you see in magazines and everywhere. And the president of France, Sarkozy, was been married a couple of times before, had an affair with this gorgeous Italian model who's also a multimillionaire in her own right from her family. Did you realize she was rich, Shuli, this Bruni?
He's a major player.
She's totally rich. And she's about 6 feet tall, and she's a singer, and she's a model and an actress and the whole deal. She just caught him screwing around on her. They've been married like 2 years, right?
How about that?
It is unbelievable. And it's the same thing we say about Jennifer Aniston or whatever. Once you settle in with somebody, I haven't the faintest idea what happens.
Oh, look at that picture of them on the beach. It's like, it looks like a kidnapping.
It's unbelievable. What's weird, Trev, is I know you're a Christian and all that. I'm not so sure that human beings were meant to mate for life. I mean, are you a duck hunter by any chance, Trev?
No, I'm not a duck hunter. I'm an Al-Qaeda hunter.
You're an Al-Qaeda hunter.
Nice.
That's nice. That's very nice. You know that ducks mate for life. Like you'll see the greenhead mallard, and you'll see the female doesn't have the beautiful feathers that the male does. They mate for life, and there's certain fish and there's certain birds and animals that mate for life. Penguins mate for sometimes penguins with the same sex. I'm not so sure, Trev, that human beings were made to mate for life. I'm just not positive.
Like if there's a God and I go up to heaven and there's a God standing there, the first thing I would ask him is I go, "You ever lived with one? Seriously, just answer that for me."
Yeah, but Trev, you've made the decision to be with your wife and stay with her, and so others don't agree with that, or they're having trouble and they can't get divorced or whatever. So why not let a man release the pent-up sexual frustrations?
It's almost like an exorcism
inside of a woman who wants to have her pent-up sexual frustrations relieved and then go home to their families. What's that?
Why don't you just get divorced then? And
why?
Well, some people also aren't in that position financially or for whatever reason, and some people just don't want to go through it.
Some people still love the person that they're with, but don't have sex with them.
They don't have that connection, you know?
That's right. That's right.
No. Well, the other thing about the ads that I kind of find puzzling is how they say, why fool around with a single woman that can,
exploit you. That's right. That's right.
And exploit you. Well, what? I mean, come on. If a married woman's willing to go through with this, I mean,
yeah, but look at it this way. Look at it this way. Look at it this way. It's like, all right, let's say I go buy some weed from a dealer, all right?
Right.
And that dealer, look, we have an understanding. He can screw me over, and I can't call the cops on him. Or if I screw him over, he can't call the cops on me. We both have something to lose. You understand?
That's a good analogy, Shuli.
Well, thanks.
That's the only analogy Shuli has. He uses that for religion, child rearing, everything. It all goes back.
I have a lot more analogies. You can come visit me at my shop, Cunt's Hair Salon.
Congratulations.
You know something?
With a K. Everyone relax.
I'll tell you something. The biggest problem with two married people getting together is when one of the people breaks the rules. And the rule is that you're just there to talk to each other, to screw, and then, have dinner or whatever and go home. When one falls for the other one, yes, then it can be a mess.
Yeah.
But there are people listening to us now I can't say who this is, but I have a relative, let's say. And her father had a mistress his entire life at the office, and it was just never spoken of. And the guy was married for 30 years, whatever it was, 40 years. And when he died, the children and the main daughter would not allow the mistress to come to the funeral. And she worked in the company, okay? And they all knew that the dad was happy with this woman and that he and the mother, didn't screw. I don't know, who knows what they did, right? Here's the weird thing. That woman that kept the mistress from coming to the funeral, she's been having an affair with her boss for the last 10 or 15 years. It's people having affairs, married people having affairs are weird. She would never think about getting married. And I guess they meet at a hotel, in the city, and they take their clothes off and they screw and they drink or whatever they do. And then they go on their way, You have to compartmentalize to run around on your spouse. If you are not prepared to not fall in love, you should not screw around on your spouse, Trev.
Yeah. Well, I'm not planning on it anyway.
Okay, good.
Now, you said you're Al Qaeda hunter. What branch?
Does that mean?
What branch you in?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I've called in before. I'm in the National Guard.
Oh, all right. Hey, what about this woman, Jihad Jane? Have you read about her?
What's that
You know, I've heard about her. I haven't read about it. That's kind of an odd deal.
Well, here's the weird thing. She's 46 years old. She's been married twice. She's actually an attractive woman. And she was with a guy for about 7 years, but I don't think she was married to him. She meets this guy, they fall in love, and he goes, but look, I live with my dad, and my dad's infirm. And she moves in with him, Shuli, and they live together, and she takes care of this guy's dying father. And while she's taking care of the guy, she goes on the internet and she's bored. And she went on some sites and would say how bored she was or whatever. So kind of typical bored person taking care of old person. She goes on some website about Islam or whatever, and suddenly becomes this secret convert to Islam. And when the guy dies, when the old man dies, the day after the funeral, she disappears. And she goes over to Afghanistan or wherever, and she gets trained as a jihad fighter, you know, and then plans this, and she's this blonde-haired, you know, attractive, you know, like MILF-looking woman. It is the honest
What was the
thing.
attack that she planned to do?
They don't know exactly what she was going to do. But
That's
she
weird.
called herself Jihad Jane, and she was recruiting people for these attacks.
The most annoying part of that is, you know, because she's a woman, at the end of the day, her husband would have to sit there and listen to that boring story about terrorist training camp, you know? So he'd be like, hey, honey, I'm home. So we were on the monkey bars today, and I learned how to use C4. Oh, and then Osama said the funniest thing, right? I was walking in with my purse. You know Osama, right? So I was walking in, and, did I tell you Osama's brother was there, too? It was so crazy. We ran into each other. Then I ran out of bullets. Can you believe it? I had an infidel to kill, and I ran out of bullets. I was so embarrassed.
She's the only, I tell you what, her eyes are so beautiful that they showed her and you could just see her eyes, and they're these deep blue, you know, waspy looking eyes coming out of this black burqa. And man, oh man, I got to tell you something. You definitely want to see what's going on with the rest of that body.
I did.
Okay?
I think she looks better with the burqa on.
Hey, Jay,
I'll be honest.
I got to jump into work here. Congratulate Shuli on the new baby, but I got to get to work here.
All right. Well, you kill you kill an Islamo-fascist for Christ, would you please?
Be safe out there, brother.
Kenny, Phoenix, Arizona. Yes, Kenny, how are you?
Hey, Jay, how's it going?
Hey, by the way, before you ask whatever you're going to ask, you're allowed to carry weapons. You know, my son is a gunsmith there in Arizona. You're allowed to carry weapons outside, you know, like six guns and stuff on your waist, right?
Yeah. I remember living out there. They were allowed to do that.
Have you seen the people that are now carrying their weapons? I guess they're going into Starbucks and stuff.
Yeah, well, I was just in a Circle K yesterday when a guy I walked in and he had a sidearm right on his body, and he was complaining about guns. People get freaked out about the guns.
You know when a guy's strapped and he's complaining, you're always in agreement with him. You're like, I hear you, man, totally.
I gotta tell you, but do they allow it? Do they allow it to be loaded? I thought the guy that we had on that didn't want people in his bar in Arizona said you couldn't put bullets in the gun. Is that true?
I think that's just the bar's decision. It's not. It's not up to if they can carry around a loaded gun, but if the bar says that you can't have it, then you gotta unload it.
So the guy in the Circle K, that gun has bullets in it.
Yeah, it was loaded.
Here's the weird thing. You know what? You know when I see a guy in an expensive sports car, and I don't care who it is. If I see a guy in a $150,000, $200,000 Lamborghini or whatever, the first thing I think is that he's got a small dick, okay? That's the first thing you think. And he needs to show everybody that he's rich or whatever the deal is. I've never met a guy who drives those kind of cars who isn't a complete nerd or isn't a complete egomaniac. And let's go to guns. If you got a guy strapping and sitting in the Starbucks, that is a dickless wonder to me.
Yeah, or a fanatic.
Well, let's say something went down in the Starbucks. You don't get the latte that you want. Boom! And you... That's right. and someone starts shooting, wouldn't you hate to be in a store, in a school, anywhere, and get caught in the crossfire between two amateurs that are shooting at each other?
Definitely.
That's the thing. That's the thing I just don't understand about carrying the Starbucks, Shuli, has not banned the guns, but the Pete's Coffee doesn't want anybody in packing a pistol.
Let me tell you something. If you bring in a gun to a Starbucks, have the decency to shoot that fucking tip jar, because that is insane, all right?
Or have the
$12 for a cup of coffee and you want a fucking tip?
How about this? You go like this. You know how people order at Starbucks. You're strapping on some heat, and the guy comes in and he goes, "I'd like a triple espresso." You go, "Gee, I think maybe. How about some decaf? How about some decaf?" Yeah, why don't we not get all jacked up here? Okay, Okay. So, what did you call about?
Well, it's kind of a day late and a dollar short, but you were talking with that butt lady, and you talking about pharmaceutical cocaine.
By the way, she is adorable and clean, and her last name is Butt.
Clean
I got to tell you. Oh, my God. I was madly in love with her. She's adorable.
Anyway, I was working as a janitor at this doctor's office, and in the process, I found the key to the drug cases, and I stole a bottle of it one time. and that shit, it was only 7% solution, but it was strong.
Now, did you stick it in your arm?
I stuck regular cocaine in my arm, but not that. I didn't want to do that because I don't know why. And what I did was pour it out on a plate, put it in the oven, and dry it out, and then just scrape it up and snort it, or put it on a bong, make a Cocoa Puff.
You just use some right now?
Wow.
No.
You know what, Kenny? You're our listener of the day. Let's hear it for Kenny, listener of the day. Ira the Weatherman, tell Kenny in Phoenix, Arizona.
I use butt drugs.
Yeah, all right. Ira the Weatherman, what is the weather for Kenny in Phoenix, Arizona this weekend?
Phoenix, Arizona, it's going to rain all weekend long.
What?
With a high around 48 degrees.
That's hard to believe. All right. Kenny of Phoenix, thank you. Who cares if it's true or not? It's the weather. You got it. Stay where you are. It is the Jay Thomas Show with Shuli, Ira the Weatherman, and a woman that lost all of her money to Bernie Madoff and has written the Bag Lady Papers. Stay where you are.
You're the greatest.
Is there a funnier man in the world? Yes, Jay Thomas.
Emmy-winning actor Jay Thomas.
I can't wait till the morals of this country are completely destroyed. That's when I'll be able to rest for eternity.
Yes. Oh, I want it now.
We'll be back with more of the Jay Thomas Show.
Howard 101.
Around the world and up your block.
It's time for America to wake up.
No more bullshit.
This is it. It's a revolution.
This is a Howard 100 News Brief.
I'm Ralph Howard. Is Gabby too fat? Should Howard Stern say that about the precious actress?
She is enormous. She's never going to be in another movie. What movie is she going to be in?
No way, say the women on The View. It's Howard 100 News Langford Unleashed.
Howard 100 News Langford Unleashed.
Yeah, our friend Gabby Sidibe was an Oscar nominee for Best Actress at last Sunday's Academy Awards.
Time now to pander to the crowd as the women at The View express shock. Shock that someone would call the star of Precious fat, at least in public.
But Howard Stern and his co-host Robin Quivers were not kind to her on the air on Monday.
Whoopi Goldberg kicking off this shallow discussion that steers way wide of the elephant in the room.
You're entitled to your opinion. You think she's big, okay, but at least get the facts right. Yeah, at least get the facts right.
The facts, according to Whoopi, are that Gabourey Sidibe is very talented, but the fact that the precious star appears to be morbidly obese, never to be mentioned on The View.
I think for Robin, I would hope, too, that would think, why would I create this situation and make it worse for women out there dealing with weight issues?
But The View taking its own not-so-subtle swipe at Robin Quivers by displaying photos of Robin before she lost a lot of weight, as these co-hosts continue to chew the fat in their typical incomprehensible way.
So let's go laundry
Period.
But what
it's the same thing they said about me.
Yeah.
Barbara Walters, who has at least taken the trouble to get to know The Stern Show, articulating a measured understanding of what Howard is up to here.
I mean, you can't excuse Howard, but, you know, this is the way Howard talks.
And special guest Elton John, who's had his own weight issues, issuing a backhanded compliment about the Big O.
Also, I mean, what about people like Oprah Winfrey? I mean, Oprah Winfrey, I think, always had a yo-yo battle with her weight, right?
She's one of the most powerful women in the world.
Yeah, she's the most powerful woman in America, I think, apart from probably the First Lady.
Not once does The View even mention the epidemic of obesity weighing so heavily on Americans.
You know, if there's anybody out there who wants to see for themselves what kind of future Gabby Sidibe has in Hollywood, just check her out in Precious.
The Fat Lady Sings. Steve Langford, Howard 100.
It's Tom Christie, Richard Christie's dad, and you're listening to Howard Stern News Show. Is that what it is?
For traffic and weather and demand, go to Sirius channels 148 to 158 or XM channels 210 to 222. For Miami, updates on the interstates on Sirius 153, XM 212. Another Howard 100 news brief at the top of the hour, or as close as we can get.
Howard 100. Let's call Mrs. Norris. Find out why she didn't circumcise Fred.
Well,
Want to know?
yeah.
Monday, Howard Stern's Memory Lane returns.
We're the dickheads of the whole broadcast industry. We better be having a good time.
A week of unforgettable Stern Show moments chosen by you, the fans.
You filthy, slimy whore. Hey, get off my phone.
Gary Dell'Abate and John Hyde read your emails and play your favorite memories. The all-new Memory Lane special starts Monday, 6 a.m. East on Howard 100, 6 a.m. Pacific on Howard 101, and online at Sirius.com.
SimplyBestPennyStocks.com is your #1 source for penny stock alerts. Last week's pick, CHGY, gave their members a 102% gain from their alert price of 85 cents in just 2 days. The week before, they had a gain of 68% from MSOA in just 1 day. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today to receive their next big pick. To get their free newsletter today, go to SimplyBestPennyStocks.com so you don't miss out on their next massive alert. SimplyBestPennyStocks.com's research team is one of the best in the market today with countless years of experience, which means big profits for their members. Experience simply equals profits. So don't miss out on their next alert. Go sign up now to SimplyBestPennyStocks.com for your free membership. SimplyBestPennyStocks.com. Individual results may vary. There is no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely.
Are you an inventor, or do you know an inventor who would like to attempt to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to industry? Call InventHelp, America's largest invention company, and learn how to get your free inventor's information. You'll learn how to attempt to patent your idea and submit it to industry from the company that has helped secure over 7,000 patents. It's a free call, so call now. 1-800-220-9562. That's 1-800-220-9562. Call toll free at 1-800-220-9562. That's 1-800-220-9562. InventHelp is a fee-based company.
Want to lower the cost of doing business?
Reduce email storage and get compliant.
Barracuda Networks can help. The Barracuda Message Archiver is an integrated hardware and software solution that indexes and preserves all email communication and attachments. With no per-user fees and a quick setup, the Barracuda Message Archiver is the best solution for reducing the cost of email storage while ensuring government and litigation compliance. Powerful yet affordable security, networking, and storage solutions trusted by more than 80,000 businesses worldwide. Call 888-ANTI-SPAM for your free evaluation unit. 888-ANTI-SPAM or visit Barracuda.com.
As your car gets older, it will have mechanical problems. If your factory warranty has expired, an extended vehicle protection plan can save you thousands by paying all your covered repairs. At A Plus Auto Protection, we work with BBB-rated providers to offer you a full menu of coverage options. We do the comparison shopping for you so you save money with our discounts. For a limited time, also get roadside assistance and towing, but you must call now. 800-567-9901. 800-567-9901.
Not all plans available in all states for all vehicles.
$1,000. Average cost of one business trip. $49. Unlimited online meetings per month with GoToMeeting. That's right. You could be holding hundreds of meetings online for less than one in-person meeting. With GoToMeeting, you can hold as many meetings as you want for one flat rate. Free voice over IP and phone conferencing included. Business travel is a profitability killer. So do more and travel less with GoToMeeting, the award-winning online meeting service brought to you by Citrix. With just a click, you can launch sales presentations, training sessions, sessions, product demos, or collaborative sessions right from your desk. GoToMeeting is so easy to set up and use. You'll have your first meeting up and running in seconds. The best part is Sirius and XM subscribers can try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. For this special offer, visit GoToMeeting.com. Click the Try It Free button and enter promo code Sirius or XM. That's GoToMeeting.com, promo code Sirius or XM. Online meetings made easy with GoToMeeting.
Howard 101.
Jay Thomas.
It's the weirdest and the wildest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you're listening to the Jay Thomas Show. Howard 101.
Go to jthomas.com. You'll find out the links to all of our guests. I believe we have a picture of Christina who does our show during the week. If you want to hear the Jay Thomas Show when I'm not doing Howard 101, it's every afternoon, 3 until 6 o'clock on Sirius 108, XM 139. Shuli is here, and since the baby is born, I guess you're not traveling as much. Are you performing?
Not this month. I got this month off, and then I'm back on the road starting next month. But you can go to my site, JewGoneWild.com or RevBobLevy.com.
Ira, the weatherman, is in our studios
Good morning,
in New York.
Jay.
Good morning,
Jay.
Ira.
I got regards from Steve, Mr. Angelo, from the Seven Seas restaurant.
Never heard of it. I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm leaving after the show. What sort of weather will I encounter in Las Vegas
We're
this
going to be
weekend?
having around 85 degrees.
So let's just recap quickly. Arizona raining all weekend,
Raining and
46. Vegas, 85. Okay.
There you go. Let's welcome
Jay,
Alex.
and you're going to win on the machines.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Alexandra Penny. Go to Alexandra and then Penny, PENNEY.com. And she also blogs for thedailybeast.com. Her new book, The Bag Lady Papers. Alexandra, an artist and a best-selling author who years ago, the book I remember was How to Make Love to a Man. Is that right, Alexandra?
That sure is, Jay. You remember that one.
How are you? My friend Shuli is here.
Hello.
Alexandra, the reason why I have you on is, first of all, we'll talk about Bernie Madoff in just a moment. We had the actor Kevin Bacon on my afternoon show.
Right.
And he was talking about his charity, and we were talking acting. And so, in the middle of the interview, I knew that he had been caught up in the Bernie Madoff situation. And I said, gee, I know this is a tough one to talk about, but you lost, money to Bernie Madoff. He went totally silent on me, and in fact, was, I guess by his silence, I would say pissed off that I asked the question. And I said, gee, it wasn't said here, not to ask you, but it
You'd think
spiraled.
you'd be a little more pissed at the guy who took his money.
It spiraled down, and it turned into an ugly little situation. And I even said, look, some very close friends of mine once really, literally stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from me, and it's the worst feeling in the world. And then I saw that you had written this book, and it truly says here that you had given Bernie Madoff basically everything that you were going to live off of the rest of your life. Is that correct?
That's true. That's true.
I mean, without even going into it, I don't even need to know the number.
Figure, maybe?
Well, look, I would tell you the number in a nano, but there's still lawsuits pending. So my lawyers have said I can't say anything. Just know that it was everything I'd ever saved.
Why did you give him that much money?
Well, first of all, I had checked him. I was a reporter and the editor of Self Magazine, so I was a pretty good journalist, and I had checked him out every which way to Sunday. I live in New York, and all the financial guys had said, you're lucky to be in there. These are people who weren't in it. And then over the 9 years I was with him, I just kept asking people, do you think this is safe? Do you think this is safe? Absolutely safe as a vault. And so I wasn't making any astronomical interest. I was making like 9%. People were making 7 and 8 and 9. So I didn't think it.
No. I thought he was paying 13 and 14%. I didn't know it was a single-digit number. Yeah.
This is the whole thing. There was a sliding scale. Apparently, some people were making 50%. Obviously, I didn't know this. 9-10% was very generous, and I was very happy with it because it was solid. But the book actually is about what happens when the rug is pulled out from under you. Kevin Bacon obviously is so pissed he doesn't want to.
You still there? Did we lose her?
Apparently, Bernie got her phone too.
Hey, the other thing.
Bernie has it wiretapped.
Meanwhile,
I like Ira asking the first question.
Good one too. Meanwhile, not a great reporter, if you ask me.
No, he was president of NASDAQ. Did you know that?
Yeah. I mean, he told so many people. It was ridiculous.
There was only the one guy who we're going to have on also out of Boston when it was demanded by his investors. Some investor came to him and said, my friends are all getting, 13 or 15 or 18% every 9 or 10%. If you're happy with that, then why would he change? I guess if you called him on the phone and said, gee, my finances have changed, I need a little more money or whatever, he would say, well, I'm going to put you in something more volatile, right? And maybe he'd pay you 12%. He'd just keep everybody happy.
Yeah, it depends, I guess, what you're getting into.
Did we lose her completely? What happened, Garrett? What happened?
Yeah, I get phone. Just hold on 1 second.
Oh, we got her back? Okay, good. Alexandra? No, where is she? Alexandra?
Yeah, right here.
I'm sorry, we lost you there for a second. Alexandra Penny is here, the Bag Lady Papers. So you had been the editor of Self magazine. Was the magazine?
That's correct. And
Editor-in-Chief.
The book How to Make Love to a Man, as you were talking about. So I had made a good amount of money.
Right.
And I was hoping to use that. I'm an artist. I don't know where we got cut off, Jay, so I don't want to repeat myself.
No, you know what? I think Ira had said, asked you, why did you give him all the money? And you said you had checked him out. And I told the story of the financial advisor in Boston whose investors came to him and said, our friends are getting solid 15, 16%. And when he looked at Bernie's what he was investing in to try and figure it out, he went to the people and said, look, this is a scam. And
that was Markopoulos.
Yeah, right, Markopoulos. We're going to have him on in a week or two. Right.
I had checked with Harvard MBAs, Wharton people at Sanford Bernstein, people even at Goldman.
Mm-hmm.
And only one guy, I sort of told it up with 18 people I had talked to, only one guy said, we can't figure out how he's doing it. Everybody else said, that's great, keep on it. And again, as I was saying, 9%, 9.5%, most.
Yes, really. Solid, huge. Absolutely. But also, my question was, if you had called him and said, that's another question. Were you allowed to talk to him during the investments?
I never met him, but on November 11th, I remember the day is my father's birthday. During the economic meltdown, I called and said, I want my money out because there was no time to be anywhere putting cash. And they said, somebody will call you back. And they said, don't worry. They being some woman over there. Said, don't worry, you're in U.S. Treasuries. So I looked at my statements, and indeed he had put me so-called in U.S. Treasuries. But I still wanted my money out. So the next, 10 days later, I called and said, I haven't heard from you. They said, someone will get back to you. Don't worry. Thanksgiving came. I got distracted. And then, bam, on December 11th, the rug was pulled out from under me.
We had a guy on here who helps people go to jail. He's a former, he's an ex-con and stuff. And he was one of the guys, I think, that tutored Bernie Madoff and a lot of these white-collar criminals what to expect in jail. This guy, and I asked him this, I said, if there was $50 or $60 billion that was actually paid to Bernie Madoff, and let's say they've caught him and now they've found $100 million or whatever they have found. My question is this: where is all of the 50 or 40 or 20 or whatever billions of dollars? Where is it? This guy thinks that Russian mobsters, Israeli mobsters, or whatever you want to call them, people in London, all over Europe, he believes that money is still in play and that Bernie will never talk because if he ever talked, he would be killed. Don't you think it's odd that if he didn't invest the money, then the money didn't go anywhere?
I actually agree with some of that. At least that's what I've heard. Right. And that there was a lot of dirty money involved.
That man should rot in jail.
Well, he is going to rot in jail. Yes, he will. Right.
Yeah, he is. Somebody once said to me, if I ever met him, what would I say? I have no interest in meeting the guy. I've moved on completely.
I see. I would not have moved on.
What
I
I'm
would
going to
love
do
meet
is I'm going to make up a collection for you, Miss Alexandra.
Alexandra Penny is now Ira the Weatherman.
I'll go around the whole building at Sirius.
Yes.
Telling everybody to contribute.
Might want
You're going to have at least $20 coming your way.
Tell him to buy a book.
Yeah, the Bag Lady Papers, by the way.
The Bag Lady
Shirley, what would you do? You lose everything. And would you want to meet the guy, Shirley?
Yes, I would want to meet that guy, and I would want to meet every other guy in that jail and tell them that I would like to invest their money in shanks and shivs and make sure that they go pay Bernie's ass a little visit.
Now, Alexandra, you're living a fabulous life, I assume. You live in Manhattan?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, listen, know what you do?
What?
Bring up your books to the Seven Seas restaurant in Co-op City.
Right. All right. Thank you, Ira.
They're in Bartow Avenue.
I understand.
Another stamp.
Now, Alexandra, you're living in the apartment. Did you lose your apartment?
I may. I had a little tiny house in Florida, about 700 square feet. I had to sell that. I have a highly mortgaged house that people are renting, but I got to sell that so I can pay the mortgage off. I'm still in trouble here.
Okay. And you lost your daily, everyday living money, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
When that happens, did you apply for welfare or food stamps? I mean, what the hell happened? I mean, is that what the book, The Bag Lady Papers, is about? How you go from making lots of money to having absolutely nothing, and then how do you feed yourself?
It's more about how you come out on top. In other words, we've all had the rug pulled out from under us in some ways, and some ways are much worse, like mine. But there are ways to control this. I did one thing. Fear can galvanize you or it can paralyze you. In my case, I called my agent that I had 20 years ago, and I said, I need work like tomorrow, because I hadn't written. I'm a photographer now. And I started writing for the Daily Beast. That led to a book contract, which actually pays my daily rent for, the next few months.
So you're lucky that you have connections still.
Well, I'm very, very lucky. But the thing is that I'm still totally traumatized. But how do I deal with it? I try and no self-pity. That's the first thing. It's a waste of time. Maybe a minute or two a day. And then I try and stop all kind of negative thinking and thinking about the future, what should happen if another catastrophe hits me. And so I've learned a lot of ways to deal with having the rug. When life is giving me a pounding, I've learned how to deal with it. And I've really I'm not a stupid Pollyanna type in any way. But I've really had some pretty great adventures. Friends have been amazing.
See, I would never be able to let go. I would never stop reminding people. Like you asked me, you'd be like, "Hey, what time is it?" How should I know? Every penny I had was stolen.
I'm the complete opposite. I never think of this guy. I just move ahead because I have to. I've got to earn a living.
Well, there was a big court case, and for those people that don't know, they found some amount of money, $100 million or whatever. And so people like Alexandra Penny, who's written the book, The Bag Lady Papers, have been allowed to go back into this Victims Assistance Fund. What the court recently ruled was if you put in, let's say you put in $5 million, and over 20 years you received back $5 million or more in your so-called investment, you are not allowed to get any restitution, okay?
Correct.
Now,
correct.
I know you were able to recoup some, which means you didn't get everything back. Do you think that's fair?
I don't know what I think about it. I don't think it's fair, but I'm not quite clear on it. I followed it very carefully. What I do know is, let's say I put in your $5 million. I wish it were $5 million.
Right.
But let's say I put in the $5 million. I would have put it somewhere to make some money over those past 10 years. And so I'm cheated out of all of that money.
You're cheated out of the principal. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But they're saying the judge finally said, look, you at least got your principal back. So in the judge's mind, it's a break even for you.
No,
that's what he ruled.
Alexandra, in your opinion, do you think his wife and kids know where the money is?
That's right. Do you think his wife and kids know where the money is?
They are guilty as hell.
Yeah.
And I think there really is money. One of the big investor guys in New York I was talking to over the summer, he said, I have a pet theory. This sort of a brand name guy that we all know in the financial world. And he said, I think there's a lot of money in Swiss banks in about 2 or 3 years. They're going to come out of their poverty, move to Europe, and use the money in those banks.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the reasons that Roman Polanski was turned in by the Swiss, and this is true, is because the United States is putting tremendous pressure, and you know they did it with the Jewish Holocaust victims, right, on the Swiss bank accounts. And so the feds also said, we've also been trying to get, this Roman Polanski, and he's got a chalet in Switzerland, Shuli. And they said, and this is all part and parcel to a bunch of situations where people are owed money and the Swiss weren't paying out. And so they kind of handed, Roman Polanski just didn't build a house like 2 months ago in Switzerland. It's been there for years, right? 30 years.
Right.
So they're turning it over. I doubt they're going to ever stop watching Bernie Madoff's people.
I agree with you totally, and they should never stop watching them. No. I'm sure the brother should be arrested soon. I've heard that the FBI is really close to arresting him, and I do think the two sons, and I certainly think Ruth Madoff knew. She had to know.
Alexandra Penny, P-E-N-N-E-Y. Yeah.
Want to know the temperature in my butt? It's 500
Just stop
degrees.
It. Just stop. Pull him back. Stop it.
Alexandra,
the woman's been through enough.
You should go to Atlantic City.
Pull him
That's
away,
where you're
would you
gonna
please?
Make your money.
Pull him back away from the microphone. Thank you. Bag lady papers. Now listen, while I'm reading all of this information, it says here that you drown, or you have blow-up dolls that commit suicide. What is that about?
Before this whole Madoff thing, I'm a photographer and an artist. I always have been. And before this, I was using these cheapo blow-up dolls as social commentary. They have these huge gaping mouths. They're very insatiable.
Oh, I know.
And I dress them up in all fake Hermes and Gucci. And I had
You said Gucci. You said Gucci, Alexandra.
That's what I meant.
You meant Gucci? Okay, thanks.
Gucci, Poochie, whatever.
Anyway, Gucci was showing you.
I dressed them all up, took photographs of them, and they were social commentary about the greed and consumerism that the economy was facing.
This is before you lost your money. You were taking pictures of these blow-up dolls committing suicide.
No. They were all alive before, and they were greedy, and they were doing this Poochie Gucci, stuff.
Right.
Then comes, and they were in bright colors. Then comes Madoff, and I was writing the book in the morning, and in the afternoon I started taking pictures of these dolls committing suicide because they'd lost all their Guccis and Poochies and all their money. And so these pictures, which were on exhibition, you can actually see them on my website, were the dolls who had melted down, committed suicide in the huge economic recession, and because of Bernie Madoff. So in a way, that was what got my own anger out, was just killing off these...
suicidal blow-up dolls.
Is in my brain.
Would you get him away from the microphone? Get him away from the microphone. No, well, it sounds terrible.
That was
Alexandra. I'm going to say goodbye. Alexandra Penny.
Great name for an album.
The Bag Lady Papers. If they allowed you to go in to the cell, and if it was okay to kill Bernie Madoff, would you do it?
Yes. Oh, you're asking her? Sorry.
I'm asking you.
Nope, I wouldn't even. I'd say I don't even want to visit the prison. May he live a long,
He's a Ganoff.
He's a Ganoff, that's right.
Yeah,
you want him to suffer in prison. You wouldn't want to hit him, beat him, stab him, nothing.
No, I would want him. So a psychiatrist once told me the worst punishment that you can give anyone is to put them in solitary with absolutely no contact with anybody for the rest of their lives.
He shouldn't even eat.
Or marriage.
They want to starve him. All right. Thank you. Alexandra Penny, blogs for thedailybeast.com, and the new book is The Bag Lady Papers. She lost virtually everything to Bernie Madoff, and I guess it's a book how to recover from terrible loss and all that. You think you'll get your money back from the book sales?
Oh, I don't know. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping.
All right, Alexandra.
Never. I could never.
Well, thank you very much.
Jay.
Yes, Ira.
When I sleep, I look just like a blow-up doll.
He goes from, do you think the kids and wife know where the money is, to you want to know the temperature of my butt? The transition was the best. Because you're sitting there going, I know people were on the radio going, wow, what's going on with Ira today? He's
he was like asking insightful questions. And the lady was so nice, you know. I mean, she's
a doll.
Well, I really do. I truly feel sorry for her. She's writing the cockamamie book.
And, some reporter, way to research.
No, you know what? It's like, he was such a
scammed fucking
pompous bastard that when the investigators came, he said, "Do you know who I am?" How
he figured he could outsmart them like he's been doing.
He did,
right?
Oh, How about the guy in Boston that said, "I have facts. It's a scam," you know?
Right.
And no one would believe him.
Nothing.
He lost investors to Bernie Madoff.
Well, that guy in Boston is like the FBI agent that was yelling to everybody that there were guys at flight schools not wanting to learn how to land.
The woman, they fired her.
Right. The woman.
She said, "Look, they're only practicing taking off."
Right.
And they went, "What?" You know, and they're paying in cash.
Right. FYI, they're asking for alternate routes to buildings at flight school. So,
all right.
Might want to look into that.
All right. You know, it is the Jay Thomas Show with Shuli. Stay where you are. When we come back, we'll tell you why March Madness also means vasectomy.
The Jay Thomas Show with Shuli Madison and Jay Thomas.
Yes. Oh, I want it now.
Howard 101.
Around the world, then up your block.
It's time for America to wake up.
No more bullshit.
This is it. It's a revolution.
This is a Howard 100 News Brief.
I'm Ralph Howard. Robin Quivers will soon be in Guatemala. Before going, Robin leaves behind a surprising bombshell about her new foundation. It's Howard 100 News Investigates.
Howard 100 News Investigates.
I'm nervous and scared and don't know what I'm getting into, but I'm excited about seeing another part of the world.
The peripatetic Robin Quivers heading off on an 8-day mission in support of work being done by the UN Foundation and UN Population Fund in Guatemala, a nation terrorized by a reported 40 murders a week in the capital city alone in 2008, according to the U.S. State Department.
I don't know that you necessarily have to be armed, but I'm sure precautions have been taken, and we're always going to be traveling together in a group. So I'm not afraid that way.
Quivers also apparently not afraid of kicking off yet another venture. Robin just announcing a new charitable foundation she's formed called 15foundation.org.
It is an organization that has come together to help support solutions to today's problems. Much like what I've always done with charities like Healing Bridges. I find a charity that has a mission that I agree with, and then I raise money for them.
And the co-founder of Robin's new foundation, Brendan Murphy, someone Quivers seems to be spending a lot of time with these days.
He's a dear friend.
Murphy spotted with Quivers recently in Santa Monica on Valentine's Day weekend.
I suppose. I don't know. He's been to Santa Monica. What are you talking about?
Murphy, Quivers says, is not going to Guatemala with her.
We have a number of events we're planning in a number of different locations.
Quivers rejecting suggestions she's lost interest in the UN Foundation's Girls Fund, replacing that charity work with a new pet project.
I was involved with the Girl Fund and still am. I do believe their mission is a great one, but I decided to have my own foundation because I wanted a little bit more freedom in what I wanted to do.
Freedom from news coverage, apparently, too, since Howard 100 News is not being granted access to cover Quivers' journey to Guatemala. Steve Langford, Howard 100 News.
Think there's no story? Bullshit. This is Howard 100 News.
For traffic and weather on demand, go to Sirius channels 148 to 158. For XM, channels 210 to 222. For Washington, updates on the Beltway, Tyson's Corner, and I-95. That's on Sirius 152 or XM 214. Another Howard 100 News Brief at the top of the hour, or as close as we can get.
Howard 100.
Are you an inventor? Would you like to attempt to have your invention or idea patented and submitted to industry? Then you need InventHelp, America's #1 invention company, and they have free information for you. Learn how you can record your invention's date of origination, plus get valuable free information. Inventors, call InventHelp now. 800-552-7900. 800-552-7900. 800-552-7900.
Blurriness, wavy lines, blind spot. These are all symptoms of a chronic condition called wet age-related macular degeneration, or wet AMD. It can develop quickly, and it's a leading cause of blindness in people 60 and older. March is AMD Awareness Month. Visit amdawareness.org to learn about your risk factors and how a retina specialist can help. Knowing the symptoms may save your sight. Learn what you need to know at amdawareness.org today. This message brought to you by the American Society of Retina Specialists and Genentech.
Hello there, this is Leaf.
And Leaf,
the Hearts of Romaine for GreatEyeglasses.com. Hey, Leaf, how's it going with getting those glasses for your mother-in-law anyway?
Well, how do you think it's going? It's my mother-in-law. What's wrong with your mother-in-law?
It's his mother-in-law?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So what's the deal? I thought she knew what she wanted.
Knew what she wanted. Don't pop a vein there, Leaf.
Well, didn't you tell her to go to GreatEyeglasses.com?
Well, I hate to say it, but that's the problem. Careful there, Leaf. We're doing their commercial. Yeah, I know, but when I showed her the website, she saw the prices, she flipped out and wouldn't leave the computer. No. Yep, and just sat there mumbling. Should I get the blue or the brown, the yellow or the green? I know, I'll get them all. Ouch. Next thing you know, we got more orders than a drill sergeant.
So what'd you do?
Well, you know the old saying, if you can't beat them.
Hey, look at those glasses.
Yes, they came this morning and only cost me $14.99. And your mother-in-law? She loves me.
Well, there you have it. GreatEyeglasses.com. High-quality prescription eyeglasses starting at just $15. Our name says it all. GreatEyeglasses.com.
Shh, do you hear that? That's right. It's nothing, which is what banks are lending to businesses. You want stimulus money? Good luck. Unless your business is in perfect health, it is not getting a bank loan. If your business sells to other businesses, call Anchor Funding Services. Anchor Funding Services provides immediate cash flow for businesses every day by funding their accounts receivable. For fast cash and a same-day proposal, call 877-70-ANCHOR, 877-70-ANCHOR, or go to 70anchor.com.
Here's an important message from the College Bound Network for high school seniors, parents, and graduate students, and anyone looking for information about college. Have you been putting off your college education because you feel like you don't have the time or the money? If so, we have the perfect service for you. Save hours, even days on your college search with College Bound Network, your best source for information about colleges and universities. Benefit from our professional advisors who will match you with the right degree program for your career goals, budget, and lifestyle. From large universities to small local colleges to online degree programs, we can help you find the perfect school. Call now, and the College Bound Network can help you achieve your educational goals. Call 1-800-790-4803. That number again is 1-800-790-4803. Act today for a better tomorrow. 1-800-790-4803.
It's not so cold.
Famous for roles on Murphy Brown.
This man is making a sexual advance on my wife.
One leg over my shoulder.
Are you talking about shaved assholes and your kids in the car?
The Jay Thomas Show. Howard 101.
The TSA has apologized to Ryan Thomas, 4 years old, Julie. They made him take off his leg braces.
Now get over it, Forrest Gump.
And they made this, I guess he has, muscular dystrophy or something. And, this happened a couple of weeks ago. And they made him take off his leg braces.
Well, it kept fucking ringing.
And carry him, they made his parents carry the little crippled boy through the, what?
I don't know what it is. Let me try again.
Here's what's funny. So now it's like 3 weeks later. You know, the thing happened 3 weeks ago. So now they have to apologize. And the parents are suing the TSA for trauma to their child and all this other stuff. Right? Why don't the people at the gate know that this crap is going to happen before they do? I mean, it just, you know, like I'm going to fly today. I'm going to Vegas today. And I'm going to meet some idiot at the TSA with the pencil who's going to look at my picture 4 times before they sign their name on my
and they have
plane
that
ticket.
Flashlight, you know, that
whatever
UV
that thing
flashlight,
is.
and they
What does that mean?
Like, what are you looking for? Load on my passport? Really? It's bright enough in here. It's a freaking airport.
Everybody, they keep saying, that we're at war and all of this stuff, and we're going to be attacked again. No, we're not. They won. They knocked down the World Trade Center and they killed a bunch of people. They pretty much, I'm sure, a lot of this has had to do with the downfall of our finances. And now they've scared the shit out of us when we fly. And they got, how many? It's $1 billion industry with the machines and the X-rays and
We're
the whole
stripping
deal.
down to get on a plane now.
And these idiots. I'm sorry. I do not feel safe because the TSA guy is sitting there with what is that light that he shines on my driver's license?
It's
What
just
is
some
that?
special. It's just a flashlight with a different kind of fluorescent type of bulb, or I don't know what it is. It's lame.
What's in the pin?
I think
when you
think
give
what it
someone
is-
$100 bill or a 50, and they put the pin mark on it. What is that?
It's a special kind of ink or whatever, of marker that it's set to react a certain way to the paper that money's printed on. And if it's not that type of paper, then you get a different color.
I swear, to be honest, I really believe that they ought to set it up this way. Have a big sign. If you look like you might do something to this plane, we're going to check your ass out. Otherwise,
that's what they do
we're going to
in
let
Israel.
people go through.
Yeah.
Jay,
What?
why do people wear bracelets on their legs?
No, it's leg braces.
No, leg braces. The little boy was crippled, Ira.
Little boy was
Crippled, that's right. He wasn't wearing the bracelet on his leg. He was born with a birth defect or something. Poor little boy. All right. You got it?
I got it.
Let's welcome Dr. Robert.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, that's right. Let's welcome Dr. Robert Bonzani to the Jay Thomas Show with Ira the Weatherman, who's on fire today.
Hey,
apparently.
Robert, how you doing?
And, of course, the great Shuley. No, that's our weatherman. Robert, where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Orland Park, which is a suburb of Chicago.
Ira the Weatherman, what will Dr. Robert Bonzani, MD, what kind of weather will he have in Chicago
It's
this
going to
weekend?
be around 40 degrees under rainy sky.
Rainy skies
just
and
like
40.
Arizona.
There we go. Now, Dr. Bonzani, I'm heading for Las Vegas, where every year buddies of mine who are big University of North Carolina fans go and they bet on the which is March Madness, basically. It's on the way.
Right.
And you have a special during March Madness, and what is your special?
Well, the special is basically if you decide to, now is the time to stop with the children and you've done raising your family and you're looking for an excuse to get that vasectomy. Basically, we're running a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek promotion where if you get your vasectomy done on either Wednesday or Thursday or Friday morning of the first round of the tournament, we're going to throw in a free pizza, a bag of frozen peas to ease the discomfort and give you an excuse to sit on the couch all weekend and watch all the basketball games.
So
Who
it's
do you sit on the couch with, a woman?
No. You're getting your is it the Vaughn's difference? What difference? What is it that you cut that stops the sperm?
Basically, it's the vas deferens.
Vas deferens.
It's a small tube. It's about the size of an linguine, okay? And basically, what I'm doing is you're basically cutting a small segment of that, about maybe 3/4 of an inch, and then you're tying both ends off, and then you cauterize or you heat seal both ends shut so they can't reconnect once you put them back in the scrotum.
I've had a vasectomy, and
Sounds like you're building a ham radio.
No, and it only took about 30 minutes, and you put a little needle in each testicle, right?
And we don't even do that anymore.
You don't deaden the testicle?
Well, we deaden the testicle, but we have needleless anesthetic now, so we don't even have to do that.
I thought you were going to say a nurse comes in and rubs your balls. And just,
I thought he was going to say
you don't care what happens.
That would make it
I thought he was going to say that they numb it. And he goes, num, 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 num.
So here's my question. Men are classically frightened of this, and every time you mention it, all kinds of complaints come in.
Guy doesn't want needles or knives or lasers by his nuts.
Right.
It was so simple for me. I had it done. I went home. I put the ice pack on my balls and waited 3 or 4 days or whatever, and life went on. Now, my question is this: you open it up, you cut the little thing, and then you tie it off. What comes out of you after that? What is the goo that comes out after that?
95% of what you ejaculate is semen fluid. That's produced by the prostate, and we're not doing anything to the prostate. So sperm only make up about 2 to 3% of what you ejaculate. So it's like I tell my patients, it's going to look the same, it's going to feel the same, essentially the same amount's going to come out. So that doesn't change at all. There just won't be any sperm in that fluid. And so, that's the question that I get asked all the time.
See, we have a guy, I do a show on Sunday nights, and we have a guy on our show, Mike, whose wife came to him recently and said she wants him to get a vasectomy. They have 2 kids, and he's not so sure about it. But we had a lot of calls where guys were saying that they can't come like they used to. It doesn't go far. It does, you know what I mean? It just kind of...
these guys that want to shoot it like in a porno, doctor?
Right. They want to knock the milk bottles off at a state fair.
Is there any truth to that you said so only 5% are the 80 billion spermatozoa, right?
Right, pretty much, right.
Okay,
and so, I hear that once in a while. I also hear the other side of the coin, that their sex lives are better. And I think that a lot of that is mental, because they're not worried about, we're going to have an accident, or do we really want that 4th child type of thing. And
now, Dr. Bonzani, by the way, go to 21stcenturyurology.com, and he, of course, is in the it's Orland Park area,
right.
Orland Park area, and tell him you heard this, and you get a pizza and a $25 voucher for free pizza. Now, so guys would just sit on the couch and watch the tournament and everything else. Now, I don't remember what I did. Do you have to get the old sperm out of there before you can do something?
Well, yeah, it takes on average about 6 to 8 weeks for the residual sperm to get out of the reproductive tract.
Would you recommend your wife pull on your penis while you're watching the game? Are there other recommendations, doctor, as the tournament goes on?
Well, you basically tell everybody, cool it with the sex for a week, because it won't be a fun experience. Because you're going to be sore down there if you do that.
Could you burst the stitch and the semen would come shooting out of your testicles?
Well, no, you can burst a stitch, and you can get some sperm accumulate in the scrotum.
Yeah.
That tends to be relatively harmless and not painful. But what is painful, if you go out and if you have sex, or if you go work out, or if you do vigorous activities, is you can bleed down there, and that's the big thing that I tell all my patients. The hardest part is, one, allaying their anxiety about the procedure itself, and then, as you said, once you go through the procedure like this
it doesn't hurt at all. I mean, and I don't remember even having terrible pain, but as soon as I was getting it, some guy said both my balls turned black.
Dr. Bonzani, ever cut someone's balls in self-defense?
No, have not done that. Have not done that.
Self-defense? You mean someone was attacking him with their balls?
You're a urologist.
Kill or be killed.
You do PSA exams?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I get $25 off if I come over to see you.
No, he's not going to give you an exam. You're not going to get a pizza for the exam. Let's go to Dan of Kansas City. Dan, the
Good morning,
great doctor,
Dan.
Robert Bonzani of Orland Park of Illinois is with us. Dan, have you had a vasectomy, Dan of Kansas City?
I did mine about 3 years ago on the Friday of the tournament, so I could purposely lay around and watch basketball all day and nobody could bug me.
Like, really?
Now, what happened to
What
your
does that
balls?
say about marriage, that a guy has to go through surgery just to sit and relax? relax. Just to fucking sit down and watch a game. This guy's got to get his fucking balls cut. Jesus Christ.
Instead of taking the garbage out and
cleaning a piece of work.
Cleaning in the garage, you have to get...
I mean, imagine if you needed to get your twat messed with to go talk to your friends on the phone.
Good point. Jayhawks all the way, baby.
Poor son of a bitch.
All right, thank you, Dan, very much. Thank you. Now, what was out of all the, how many vasectomies have you done, Doctor?
I've probably done about 3,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of the 3,000, what would be like out of the? I mean, how many would you say were unfortunate experiences for the patient?
For the patient, you probably get about that 1 or 2 guys a year.
Chicken shits, probably.
Well, you do you do run into those, but we do give patients some Valium here, and that kind of relaxes them.
Right.
And if they come in, the chicken shits basically come in and say, "I want to be knocked out," and you're not going to talk them out of it. And once or twice a year, you just take them to the hospital and you put them under.
That's more dangerous than the procedure.
Yeah, you're
when
absolutely
you get
right.
Completely put out,
You're
then you have to sign 50 papers that you could die while you're, out cold. Right.
And then we certainly tried to discourage that, but again, you get 1 or 2 of these guys that just they come in and that's what they've decided to do. It's the only way they're going to do it. And then once or twice a year, you'll get a guy that gets kind of lightheaded, but I haven't had a guy pat out in about 6-7 years.
That's good.
Yeah.
21stCenturyUrology.com if you're in the Chicago area. Yes,
do you
yes,
see balls in your sleep?
Do you see balls in your sleep? Do you at night, do you sleep balls in your sleep, Doctor?
No, the last thing I think about when I go home is the whole male reproductive system. That's the last thing.
Here's a question. Here you are, a really smart guy, smart enough to be a doctor, and you get into medical school, and you're choosing, your what you're going to do, what your discipline is going to be.
Yeah.
What made you decide that you wanted to be sticking your, finger into men's rectums and operating on balls and dealing with, you usually see it when it's kind of stinky down there. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
What was your thought process as you were going through medical school?
Well, it's funny you ask that because everybody asks me that.
Right.
But,
like a dermatologist.
Right.
A friend of mine said, I didn't want to be awakened at night, he said. And I wanted to see my patients and not be awakened at night. And certain friends of mine are emergency room doctors. They only want to work, 12-hour shifts and not have an office, right?
Right.
So urology, what made you do it?
Well, when you're going through medical school, you're in your early to mid-20s, and one of the problems a lot of my colleagues had is that they didn't look ahead to what their lifestyle was going to be like. And when I was going through medical school, the thing I loved the best was trauma. Trauma, you get the adrenaline going.
You mean when somebody was kicked in the balls?
When someone was kicked or shot in the balls or stabbed in the balls or, anything like that. So, just trauma in general. And that, I love that. But I took a look around at the...
Now, when you say that, I gotta stop you. When you say you loved trauma, you liked when your residency was in the emergency room and people were coming with the knife in their back or a car wreck or whatever?
Yeah.
When you say you loved trauma, what am I supposed to take away from that?
Oh, some people are more suited to hands-on or doing procedures.
But the blood's spurting out, and they would come in on the stretcher, and you would put your hands on it. And did it make you feel more godlike in that situation?
Not necessarily godlike, but it's like that you're able to. There's a problem, you can do something about it, you can fix it. And I come from a blue collar working class family of electricians and carpenters. There's a problem, you fix it, and there's some satisfaction in that. And so I knew I kind of wanted to be a surgeon because it's very hands-on. And trauma, very, very, you're on all the time. And I was all gung-ho about that, but then I took a step back, and I looked around at my professors, and I found out that their personal lives were just terrible, were just miserable. They're never home. They were almost all divorced. They were all moaning about how they never got to see their children. And I said, do I really want that or do I want some balance? And so I started looking at some surgical specialties where I could still operate and I could still work with my hands and help people, but most of the time go home at the end of the day. And so I looked at orthopedics and ear, nose, and throat and urology, and I just happened to like urology the best. So I get to do those things and go home.
Dr. Bonsani, save the trauma for your mama.
All right. Now listen to this. I'm going to add this. I'm glad you're here because I don't know if you read about this or not. I don't know what town this was in, but these people are watching Shutter Island, and I believe this happened in L.A., Shuli, and they get in an argument in the movie theater, and it says, be quiet, whatever, and a woman and two guys leave. A guy comes back and stabs the person that told him to be quiet in the neck with a meat thermometer. Did you hear about this?
No.
What was the temperature?
I don't know what it was, but it's big headlines out here in California, and I was talking with Garrett earlier. It's almost like they went out and they couldn't find a weapon, so they went to a grocery store, and instead of buying a knife, they bought a meat thermometer. Came back in and stabbed.
A man was strangled with a zip tie.
Do you think when they got the guy to the hospital, it read 98.6 on the
That is normal, Jay.
I know it is normal, Al. But would a meat thermometer read 98.6 in a human being's neck?
Well, it wouldn't be gauged to read that, but theoretically it'd probably be lower than that.
Oh, okay.
Because he probably lost blood and he probably is getting.
They took him to the hospital with the meat thermometer still stuck in his neck.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to take that out. Yeah, you want to take that out because if it's
you don't want to because the blood will go everywhere.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Right. Well, doctor, thank you, and good luck during the March Madness.
Dr. Bonsani, I can't urinate.
I get that a lot more.
I didn't write that one.
Yeah. 21stCenturyUrology.com, and you're now our official vasectomy doctor because you're offering pizza, $25 voucher for free pizza, and, of course, a bag of frozen peas.
Set up the pizza right now. We're ready.
So you can watch basketball.
And a medical excuse to watch basketball, absolutely.
From Orland Park, Illinois. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you, Doc.
Now, we had a medical doctor here, and I found your questions today to be quite insightful, haven't you, Shuli?
It was great.
It was wonderful.
The lady came in and the whole thing. All right.
Although they make a good point on my fan page. The guy said hands-on a little too much for being a nut guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go to Tony of Long Island. Tony, the Jay Thomas.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
All right, how you guys doing?
Good,
great.
Now, you're a tough guy. Did you have a vasectomy, tough guy, Tony?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a tough guy, but yeah, I had a vasectomy about 9 years ago.
You're a tough guy. I can hear it in your voice. You're a tough guy. I mean, do you take any shit from anybody?
No, not really.
Well, there you go. You're a tough guy.
Just a doctor who's cutting his balls.
That's right. Now, how long did it take you to recover, and did your balls turn black during the recovery?
No, not at all. Actually, my doctor only made one incision, and I happened to be one of those little chicken shit guys. I was really scared. I wanted to be put under.
Well, I don't blame you, dude. That's scary.
No,
shit.
It doesn't hurt at all. It hurts less,
dude,
than when they take blood from you for an exam.
Look, I watch soccer, right? And in soccer, they get these free kicks, and these guys can kick the ball, 90 miles an hour, and they have a wall of guys standing in front of them. Do the guys cover their face in the wall? No. You know what they cover? Their cocks. Their cock and ball. They stand there and they cover because to a guy, that's everything. You could have a chimp chew off my face. As long as my cock's still working, there's a woman out there that I can pay to bang me.
This is true.
Yeah.
All right.
That's life, whether you like it or not, right?
So
Ira?
they knocked you out completely, Tony?
No. I went into the doctor's office. I got a Valium. He put a needle in, made one incision. 8 minutes later, I was out. Had it done on a Friday. Went back to work on a Monday.
Could you smell the flesh burning? That's what I remember.
No, not at all.
Couldn't smell anything? All right.
No, I had a great experience about it. I tell everybody if they want to get a vasectomy, get it done. I don't come different. I don't feel any different. Matter of fact, I have more sex now than I did before.
Because you're wailing away. You don't have to worry about having a kid, right?
Yeah, well, I have 2 kids. Me and my wife decided this was the right thing to do. I can just roll her over, have sex in the bathroom.
Now, let me ask you, is it Tony, right?
Yes.
Let me ask you this, Tony. Did you, when who proposed the idea? Your wife?
Actually, Actually, it was my idea.
Oh, okay. Do you think if you were to say, maybe could you get your tubes tied instead of me getting, do you think she would go for that?
She probably would have, but it's major surgery for a woman to do that, and I didn't want her to go through that anymore.
Right.
It is a big
well,
deal.
Listen, if I was marrying a younger woman, all these guys every guy that I know that's married a younger woman who promised not to want to have kids and they just want whatever, they hit that age, middle 35, 37, whatever, and they change their mind. I would get a vasectomy and not tell them.
Well, then we had a guy call in and said he did that about 4 years ago, and his wife since then has been trying to get pregnant, and he still hasn't told her.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell her.
Yeah.
Pump away and do the whole, not tell her. Can you imagine you go to the doctor and goes, there's no sperm in here. What?
Well,
It's
how
not
about
dead.
How about we heard from a guy who got it, thought it was done, ended up knocking up his wife.
I've heard that one.
Yeah.
I've heard
I
that
was
one.
worried about that.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can check it, after a couple of weeks, you just check it. All right.
I had it. Well, they told me not to have sex without protection for 6 months. So we did use protection for 6 months, and then after 6 months, I went back. They checked it. It was fine. I don't have any of them, so I'm good to go.
All right, Tony. Thank you, tough guy, Tony.
Tony, be well now.
All right. Now, Ira, would you ever have a vasectomy, Ira?
Never.
You want to have the sperm and everything coming out of you?
Sperm and everything.
Ugh. Aren't you afraid you may knock a woman up?
I'm not afraid.
What would happen if your girlfriend says, Ira, I'm pregnant? What would you do?
I'd be happy.
You'd like it. You'd raise the
Yes.
child. Where would you eat normally, you two?
Abortion City.
7 C's.
There'd be at the 7 C's. All right. It's the Jay Thomas Show that we like to call obvious.
Jay Thomas.
Call 888-STERN-101.
Around the world and up your block.
It's time for America to wake up.
No more bullshit.
This is it. It's a revolution.
This is a Howard 100 News Brief.
I'm Ralph Howard. What is Benji up to this time? Does the Stern Show writer have his own show online? It's Howard 100 News Investigates.
Howard 100 News Investigates.
Most people listening probably know about the internet and how amazing it is. And they have all these free things where you can do live talk shows.
That's Benji Bronk, and on his Facebook the other night was a message with a phone number to call him as he streamed online live. That's right, the Benji Show has begun, or maybe not.
I was trying to get the audio down right for live streaming and live audio broadcasting.
Now, what do you have in mind once you nail down the audio?
It'd be fun. It'd be just to do little things on the internet.
So you would be doing a show or just
all that kind. Well, yeah. Just having fun, taking calls. Since I was a little kid, I always wanted to get a ham radio or a CB radio. That's why I went into radio. I love that. I love interacting with people in the middle of the night.
Then Benji explains why it was such a short debut.
I was literally just trying out audio for 15 minutes, and I'll do more of that too. Okay. Yeah. But the best way to try it out is to get people to call in so I could see if it was really working and stuff.
So how can people follow this? How can they hear this?
On the internet. Go to the internet.
You just type in internet?
Go internet.com.
Okay. You'll find. Does this have anything to do with maybe you have the inside track on Howard not coming back and you're preparing?
Yeah, Howard said you better get on the internet. He's like, you better get it. He said, I recommend a high-speed connection and a computer.
Sounds like something he would say.
Yeah.
Shuli Egar, Howard 100 News.
If you're full of shit, we'll sniff you out. This is Howard 100 News.
When you see news related to the Stern Show, email Howard100News at Sirius-Radio.com or call 877-H100-TIP. For traffic and weather on demand, go to Sirius 148 to 158 or XM 210 to 222. For Baltimore, updates on the tunnels, the JFX, and the Beltway. Get Baltimore traffic and weather on Sirius Channel 152, XM 214. Another Howard 100 News Brief at the top of the hour, or as close as we can get.
Howard 100.
Above, from the world beyond, The Riley Martin Show.
Think about it. A 4-hour show, we'll get a chance to dwell upon pertinent information for an extended period of time.
The Special Riley Martin Show. Tonight, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific on Howard 101.
Did you know that last year smoking-related diseases killed 1 in 10 adults globally and nearly 500,000 people in the United States alone? How many times have you tried to quit smoking only to start back up again? How would you like to try an electronic smoking device for free that looks and tastes just like the real thing? Hi, I'm Dr. Richard Sandor for Smoke Assist, the revolutionary electronic smoking device that really satisfies. No tobacco, no smell, no tar, no stained teeth, no smelly clothes, and no more guilt. Live a healthy lifestyle for you and your loved ones. Now you can get Smoke Assist, $130 value for free. Improve your life today and be healthy. I'm so confident that Smoke Assist will work for you that I'm going to give it to you for free.
Get Smoke Assist right now for free. Call 800-859-0784. Get one for you or a friend. 800-859-0784. Limited free offer. So call now. 800-859-0784. That's 800-859-0784.
Truckers, we know you can't afford to waste time at a weigh station. That's why you need PrePass. With PrePass, highway sensors check your weight and certifications as you drive highway speed. If everything checks, a green light on your dash lets you know you keep on driving. Try it for free. We guarantee you're going to want PrePass along on every haul. Go to prepass.com and enter the promo code FREE or call 888-599-PASS. That's 888-599-PASS. 888-599-7277.
Are you in need of an IRS tax bailout? Do you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes? You need aggressive representation. Call now and speak to one of our tax attorneys, enrolled agents, or tax professionals that specialize in tax liens, back taxes, tax debt, wage garnishment, and collections. During these tough economic times, the IRS is looking for every penny they can get, and we know how to negotiate with them for you. We've settled millions of dollars of back taxes for a fraction of the cost. Call 800-734-5010 now and find the peace of mind knowing the IRS will not be knocking on your door. Protect your home, business, and family today. Call the professional tax team at 800-734-5010 now. You still have time before the tax laws change. Call today for your free, no-obligation consultation. This single telephone call with one of our tax attorneys, enrolled agents, or tax professionals could save you thousands. Call the professional tax team at 800-734-5010. That's 800-734-5010.
Hounded by debt collectors with phone calls and letters? Thinking of calling a debt relief company? Don't. Greedy lawyers and debt companies charge thousands. Why pay when you can get their solution absolutely free with New York Times best-selling author Herb K's #1 debt secret, the how-to on stopping the calls without paying the debt companies. Yes, free for a very limited time. Here's Herb K.
Don't get ripped off by credit repair companies when I can give you the information you need to do it yourself for free.
Herb K was right. His free information helped me stop the calls and settle my debt.
What have you got to lose? Stop the calls now, get out of debt, and have more money. Get Herb K's #1 debt secret absolutely free now. Call 888-287-1778. That's 888-287-1778. 888-287-1778.
You want to know where you can find the easiest women to hook up with? CougarLife.com. Claudia Oppendinkelkelder, the president of Cougar Life, says women on her site are divorced and desperate and looking for attention. Single moms that are just sitting around at home going, man, I wish I could have sex. Sexy singles like herself who are in their sexual prom. So she said, you know what? I'm going to start CougarLife.com, and she did. And now, of course, the New York Times is calling it the new generation of cougars are flocking to CougarLife.com. So don't waste another night at a bar. Check out CougarLife.com and meet women who are desperate for your attention. After all, who hasn't fantasized about being with a MILF? And I don't mean a Maoist guerrilla from the Philippines.
Call that.
That's every guy's dream, to be with a Maoist gorilla from the Philippines.
That's a gorilla I'd like to bang.
Is voted the wildest dating service on the internet. Nothing is wilder than a single mom who's been taking care of her brat and needs a good one-night stand, okay? Teach her a lesson she'll never forget. Go to CougarLife.com for free, and tonight you could be with a hot divorcee.
Howard 101.
Jay Thomas.
The subject is show is terrible. Hey, Dave.
That's Jay Thomas, the host.
He's the idol of everyone.
He says what he wants and how he wants it all the time.
It's the weirdest and the wildest.
Jay Thomas Show. Horrible.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll be at Caesar's Palace this weekend for those of you that want to continue seeing Jay Thomas. I'll be in the big room, Shuley.
What the hell are you doing there?
My name is going to be on the security screen. Beijing Jay Thomas, Beijing Jay. You know, I'm just going to be there hanging out.
Nice.
Somebody said, what are you doing this weekend? I said, I'm going to be at Caesars. Really? Will you be in the big room? I said, sure. I'll be in the big room.
Yeah, I'll be at the big room in Caesars watching David Copperfield.
I'll be the guy walking around looking for a $5 blackjack table, you know?
Oh, the worst
Jay.
is people go, you know they got dollar blackjack in downtown.
Yeah.
They rush to it. It's single deck blackjack. After every hand they reshuffle, and it's like, it's pointless. Pointless. People go to play because they think they can count cards and they're going to win.
You get $1.50 on 21.
Yeah.
I will be in the big room in Yonkers Racetrack.
Why do you whisper at the end of your sentence? I don't...
Okay, maybe I should say, I'll be at the big room at the Yonkers Racetrack.
All right. We only have a few minutes left, and many of you seem to have something
Jay,
that
you know
you
what?
need to get off your chest.
We should be on 24 hours.
We should.
Well, your voice is in my head 24 hours, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Chris, you're in Ohio? Yes, Chris, how are you?
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Ira, Jay, and Shuley. Hey.
Ohio's weather for the weekend,
It's going to be around 50 degrees under rainy skies.
Rainy skies and 50. Wonderful.
Nice.
Nice. Thank you. Yes,
nice.
Go ahead, Chris. What can we do for you?
Hey, first, I just wanted to throw out some kudos. Jay, I think your show is just awesome. And Shuley, I'm really impressed with you. You've come a long way. You're a seriously funny guy. And I'm wondering, when Howard cuts the cord, so to speak, and moves on, I would imagine offers will become pouring in for you to do radio. I think you're
me and Shuley are going to be doing, I will be the comedian on the Howard Stern show.
Let me tell you about these guys cutting the cord and all this stuff. Conan O'Brien just walked away with $35 to $40 million, okay?
Nice.
Let me tell you about people cutting cords. Nobody cuts the cord. I don't, in my opinion, think Howard's going to go anywhere because nobody has anywhere to go. This is what you do for a living. Not just a living, but it's all you do. Conan O'Brien, now, Pat, who's helping us out today, went on this website. What is Conan charging in Eugene, Oregon to see him perform? Pat.
It has 3 different packages. The meet and greet package is not up because it's already been sold out.
Meet and greet is sold out.
And I heard the meet and greet was $700 to $800.
Judging by what the other price is, that's probably about right. The other one is called the Hot Sound Package, and that is $500.
You get to hear him fart? That's the Hot Sound? You get to hear a hot, steaming turd fart come out of his ass.
You get to be there for the sound check.
Ooh.
As well as
a
cocktail session before the show, apparently.
And Conan will be there cocktailing with you?
It doesn't say that.
Bullshit.
It just says that there is a cocktail session prior to the show.
$700 to meet and greet is sold out. And who has $700 in Eugene, Oregon? Okay?
Who in Conan's audience in that demographic has $700 to blow on that? It's young college kids, you know? It's like, they don't have that shit. And you know, what an asshole to his fans to do this. You walk away with $30 million fucking dollars. You can't put on a show to charge $40 a ticket.
Whatever.
$100 a ticket. You're the who
Chris,
now?
let me answer your question. Nobody's moving on, okay?
Hey, I've got one other question.
Okay, I guess that's the end of that.
I want to thank Shuley and Bob Levy for me not being able to ever eat Fritos again.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear that? Now, Bob Levy mentioned that he likes the smell of his dog's paw, and that it smells good to him. And on the air, I'm like, you're out of your mind. You're an idiot. One call after the other of someone saying Bob is 100% correct, and my dog's paw smells like Fritos or Doritos. And if you Google what do dogs' paws smell like, everything that comes up is this smells like Doritos or Fritos, which I never.
Well, every
knew.
time I see a dog, it's scratching its ass with its paw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm thinking, so dog ass tastes like Fritos, so that's it for me too. All right, Chris, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Have a good weekend, Chris.
Jeff of New York. Yes, Jeff.
Good morning, Jeff. Jeff, you're invited to the Seven Seas over the weekend on Bartow Avenue.
All right. Go ahead.
Good to hear. How you doing, guys?
Yeah.
On the subject of vasectomy, I got a good one for you. Now, It turned out okay at the end, but when I went through the procedure, they do the one side, that went fine. The guy goes to put the anesthesia in on the second side, starts cutting. It didn't take. I almost jumped off the friggin' table.
Oh, nightmare.
Boom!
So wait a second. He stuck a needle in the next ball, and it didn't deaden the testicle?
Yeah, what it is they do each side. The anesthesia on the first side,
right.
Tied it off, worked. The second side, the anesthesia for some reason didn't take, and the guy starts cutting into my nuts, and I felt everything.
Jesus! Now, when you jumped, I'm surprised it didn't slice your nut off.
Nah, jumped in the right direction, I guess.
Hey, real quick, Pat just said someone called saying that Conan's donating the proceeds to his staff, but that doesn't make sense to me either because he's got $30 million he could fucking donate.
It's gotta be a charity. You can't be charging $700. It's gotta be a charity. Something. It's,
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. All right, Jeff, thank you.
Thanks.
Let's go to Chris of Washington, D.C. Yes, Chris.
Hey, Jay, how you doing? Love the show. Figured I'd leave everybody with a little horror story. I had a vasectomy done 2 years ago after we had 2 children. And initially, the surgery went well. Didn't feel anything. My sack was sore for a few days. Came home and kind of... I'm sorry?
How's your balls?
They're bouncing fine now.
How's your balls?
They're fine. But evidently,
okay.
I guess when they did the cut and the cauterization, some scar tissue had built up. And I guess my left testicle, had kind of attached itself to the left side of the scrotum. And
your testicle attached itself to the scrotum?
Yeah, with scar tissue. So basically, at that point, I couldn't have vigorous rough sex anymore because basically whenever the penis moves, it would pull the sack and it would pull in the nuts. And every time I tried to have really rough sex, my left nut would hurt so bad.
Testes!
Well,
1, 2, 3. Testes, 1, 2, 3.
Well,
testes, 1, 2.
Yeah.
So did you go back and did the doctor fix it for you, or what happened?
Well, my doctor was kind of like an asshole after I got the surgery done because I went back and he kind of made me feel like I was wasting his time.
What, did he point and laugh at you?
Yeah. I love balls at the end of the show.
Jay, have a good weekend.
All right, bye-bye.
Howard 101. Today at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Howard 100 News Week in Review. At 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, the Superfan Roundtable. But the Love Sponge is next on Howard 101.
Howard 101.
Attention all car owners. Having trouble making your car payment? Owe more than it's worth? What would life be like if you lost your car or truck?